Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, December 28th, 2020, and there's a lot of shit to talk about. We'll do that right now since that beat drop by Twine was an absolutely glorious one. Yesterday, Week 16 of the NFL basically wrapped up. We got one game tonight, but a lot of Week 16 is done. And where do we sit? Well, in the AFC, there's 5 teams that are currently battling for 3 spots. Who's going to get them? Who's not? Who's in? Who's out? There's a lot to still be figured out on the NFC side of things. Some teams stink who didn't stink before. Some teams are great that sucked worse than anybody has in the past. There's a lot to figure out and dissect in today. We hope that you will call us at 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 for your overreactions. We get overreactions from the Twitterverse. I sent out a bird call. Cuckoo! Excuse me, hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact. Became the number 2 trend in the United States. Shout out to us.
Yeah!
Shout out to us. Shout out to the people. Shout out to everybody that is going to rock with us today, including Ian Rappaport in about 20 minutes. Kyle Juszczyk of the San Francisco 49ers, which play in Santa Clara and in Arizona, who beat Arizona yesterday or 2 days ago with George Kittle playing great football. We'll talk to the Juice a little bit. And also Michael Lombardi will be joining us to talk about what would he be doing with his team right now if he could rest or play in the final week of the seasons? For instance, the Pittsburgh Steelers get a win over the Indianapolis Colts yesterday, okay? Colts kind of collapsed. Refs just handed the Steelers a victory, basically. The Joe Flacco offense was in full force for Ben Roethlisberger. Let's go ahead and get a pass interference or a holding call, and let's move down the field. But the Colts basically collapsed yesterday, okay? It was a sad scene. Now the Steelers lock up the AFC North. Congrats to them winning the AFC North. Next week, they play the Browns. That game was supposed to be for the AFC North if they had lost to the Colts yesterday. But instead, they already clinched. They already have a playoff spot. Would you rest your team week 17 if you were the Pittsburgh Steelers? Had an early bye week that you didn't even know was a bye week in week 4. Would you give the boys a rest before trying to go on a run to number 7? Or would you say, hey, we just learned how to play football again in the second half. Do not need to slow that down. I don't care how much rest these boys need. They just figured out how to play fucking football again. The offense was throwing deep balls. Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger. Looked like he got an immense amount of weight off of his shoulders whenever he completed that deep ball to Johnson. What's that?
Well, you got to assume that at halftime, maybe they had, Ben work out some kinks in his system.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Everybody's saying that Ben beat his baloney at halftime, and that's why they came out in the second half and were a completely different team. I'm not saying it. They're saying it. People on the internet are saying it. But what do you do with that particular situation? How about the Bills tonight? Let's say the Bills get a win. Then they basically locked in a number 2 seed. Do they want to rest their players next week against the Dolphins, who need a win to potentially get in? Woo. There's a lot to be deciphered, and we'll do that today as best as we can. A couple house cleaning notes here. Ty Schmidt is in Massachusetts for the holidays, visiting his future in-laws. Yeah. Ty, we'll miss you, bud.
Miss you, Ty.
We will miss you, Ty. Have a good time up there. Hope it is fantastic. Zito woke up this morning with some cold-like symptoms, so he is not coming in. Diggs, our friend last week who missed the end of the week, this weekend, actually late last week, he did test positive for COVID, okay, which led to our entire office getting tested. Connor got tested, it's negative. Gumpy got tested, it was negative. Foxy got tested, it was negative. Mansuri got tested, it was negative. Nick got tested, it was negative. I got tested, it was negative. So somehow Diggs got it. We were able to contain it with our protocols we've been utilizing in the office. Diggs had flu-like symptoms, he said, the last few days. Today, he woke up feeling much better. He will have to, now we got to figure this out because we haven't had this in this office. Do we make him miss 21 days like we're the Big Ten?
James Harden?
7 tests or whatever it is?
Perhaps.
Or do we do the 5 negative? Like now we have to figure out roll back in plan. And we shit on a lot of people, okay? We shit on the commissioners of the Big Ten. We've gone after people for not having protocols in place. Now we find ourselves in that exact situation. I think 3 negative tests out of the Diggs will be what will get him back into the office. Hopefully he'll be able to do that by the end of this week, and we'll get him back next week. But just know that our protocols here in this office worked. We contained it, and I feel damn proud about it.
Good for us. Good for us.
I really do feel proud about that.
Yeah.
That, like, whenever Diggs felt sick, he went and got tested, okay? We didn't know his results, but then there was a real moment there. It was like he said he's puking. He said it's like, all right, we're going to find out if the way we've been operating in this office was good or not. We contained it. Fucking right. I feel so good about it.
Unbelievable. I mean, look at the studio, too. We're this close, and we're still
socially distanced.
I mean, come on.
We did it. Yeah. Hey.
Yes.
That's something to really be proud of.
And this is not an overreaction. This is probably the, going forward, the standard for how you should deal in office situations.
Hey, if you need us to come talk to your office,
we can.
Just fucking hand over the keys. We'll get a consulting fee for sure.
Absolutely.
Fucking right. Obviously, we hope Diggs survives.
Yes. Health is wealth.
Of course.
We hope Diggs survives. And we hope Zito feels better and he comes back tomorrow and his test comes back negative.
Yes.
But everybody else who's tested negative, we all feel good. Diggs, T's and P's. He will be calling us from the COVID cave, I do believe, today.
Nice.
At some point, we'll get some Diggs because Diggs went 11-0 in betting the last 2 days.
What?
Yes. Bowl games and the NFL. He hit 4 unders yesterday. He is hot. Need to hear from him, even if he's in a state of potential flu. And by the way, his wife didn't even test positive.
Interesting.
A lot of time to go hunting winners, old Tony.
So he's locked up in a room in his house, okay? His wife
in the lab
is somewhere else. Yeah, Diggs is just in the COVID cave over there, just dissecting things, making things happen. We'll talk to him. Big weekend of football at Boston Connor. The guy that you tackled.
That's right.
Okay.
You said it.
The guy that you tackled, who was a second-round draft pick for the Green Bay Packers.
Uh-huh.
A.J. Dillon, a man who has massive legs.
Big boy.
Massive legs. Man who hadn't had much playing time because Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, and others in the backfield for the Green Bay Packers had been so damn dominant. But with injuries, kind of giving him an opportunity on primetime football. Last night, A.J. Dillon showed up and showed out. In the story that you told all of us, okay, you told all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that A.J. Dillon guy, we played against him in high school football. And I asked, was that your first junior year, your second junior year, or your third senior year there? And I forget what it was, but you said.
Third senior.
Yeah, third senior year. You said, I met him in a hole,
Yeah.
okay, and I drove him all the way out of bounds.
That's right.
Do you remember this?
Bunch of times he said it.
I met him in a hole, lowered the shoulder.
That's right.
Drove him all the way out of bounds. After watching A.J. Dillon play against grown men last night and watching him run people over in those legs and I didn't know much about the guy coming out of Boston College, didn't watch much Boston College, but after watching him, I was like even more impressed while I was watching the game. I was like, damn, we have a guy in our office that met this dude in the hole and drove him all the way to the sideline. Foxy, do we have the video?
Right here.
Play it.
Wow. Glory days.
That guy breaks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you come clean up. Bangs your tackle.
How you doing? How you doing?
That is meeting him in the hole and driving him out of bounds.
Oh, I mean, that was one play. Look, I can go back through the entire film if you want me to find the specific in the hole driving him out of bounds. That was just, first quarter, send a message. Look, AJ, it's going to be tough today. You're not just going to run all over everybody. You might get a first down on every carry, but it's going to be a tough 10 yards to get there.
Yeah.
And we sent the message. It was a long day for old AJ Dillon.
You think you sent a message to him there?
We let him know. You can't see it in that film exactly, but on the sideline there's some rocks. I actually sent him into the rocks, let him know, hey, look, it's going to be a grind.
He literally just broke 7 tackles in one play.
Hey, look, I can't speak for that. And if you look at the scheme, I mean, our DN went outside when he should have gone inside. We had a blitz,
Yeah, but you said you sent a message. If anything, he sent the message to your team.
He sent one, but he got up off the ground. He had to pick himself up off the ground. He wasn't just jogging out of bounds. I let him know.
Who was that? That might have been the hardest I'll ever be hit in my whole life.
I'm pretty sure he had to sit out the next play, if I remember correctly. I mean, look, you got to. I'm
pretty sure you.
Football.
All right, okay.
You got to let him know.
Okay, all right.
He was like 14 at the time, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was probably an 8th grader, and this guy was a second-year senior buying fucking smokes.
He was 15.
Probably how it was.
I was only 18 years old, boys. I wasn't 20.
All right. So let's move on, though. A.J. Dillon was massive for the Packers last night. He 100-some yards. Aaron Rodgers looked so damn good at football. And I put a tweet out last night in between my Oculus sessions, which we will talk about. I'm a fucking problem on there. Hey, video game nerds, just a little heads up. I'm coming into your world with something I can actually play, and I am enjoying the hell out of it. I can't control my life with thumbs. Okay, so that's why I didn't get into any of the games that you guys all play. I can't do it. My thumbs just aren't good enough. But I'll tell you what, if I'm allowed to use a little athleticism in there, I could play real ping pong, put against a guy in Germany, Italy, Japan. Beat a little kid who was a fan of the show. He asked me, is this Pat McAfee? I said, yep. He asked if I could take it easy on him. It was 6-0. I said, it's fucking your fault, kid. 5 more, 11-0. How you doing? Keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's real. It feels like you're actually playing ping pong. You could put spin on it. I spar against a guy that I created, basically has a beard, wears a Santa Claus hat. Nice. He's damn near a fucking expert. He never misses, but he's making me better. The Oculus boxing thing, I'm 7-0 with 7 knockouts.
Huh.
How you doing? Bang.
Is that good?
Is it good? I don't know. You tell me. I might be the greatest Oculus boxer in the history of Oculus boxing. Neither here nor there. I came out of the Oculus session, which, by the way, as soon as you put it on, it's like you're going to a different world. People are fighting for these PS5s. Fucking forget them, dude. Get the Oculus. This is not a paid advertisement, okay? Zuck doesn't need to make any money, by the way, at this point. But the Oculus is the coolest thing. It's Ready Player One. As soon as they make the goddamn treadmill thing, I will buy that at the house. This morning I woke up, fucking played the Beat Saber game, boom, 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 woke up a little bit, sparred with my partner for 25, 30 minutes in ping pong, because the issue with the Oculus ping pong is I don't play with a backhand in real life. I actually throw the paddle to my left hand. I have 2 forehands.
Ooh.
And a lot of people think that I'm joking there. No, I have 2 very dominant forehands. Like, it has just been my style of playing. My backhand isn't as great, okay? So I've been working on that with my sparring partner.
Nice.
Week or 2, I'm going to take challenges from all over the world, okay? And I'm going to stream it live on YouTube.
Let's go.
I'm going to start doing this thing. But I need a week or 2 to figure out the backhand because I can't toss the Oculus controller to my left hand. So it's a little bit of a...
Got to work on it.
Which, by the way, Foxy, you've played against me. I really do play like that.
You really do it, and you don't notice it that much because you're very smooth with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, as soon as, I mean, it is, paddle is in free flight in real life whenever I'm playing. Like, it is, it has never got me either, by the way.
I was going to say, you're always trying to find someone's weakness, and the backhand most of the time is, but you don't have one.
Hey, can't have a weak backhand. You got 2 fucking forehands.
How about that?
And I play tennis like that too, by the way. It'll come
Really?
Well, it's like the flat stick in hockey. Don't need a backhand.
Bingo. That's what I'm lefty and righty in hockey. Yeah, that's just how I play. So the Oculus ping pong's a little bit different. And a guy from Germany beat the fuck out of me, and he took advantage of that whole thing. I mean, he was just feeding this goddamn backhand the entire. I was like, all right, but I just woke up. You know what I mean? So I've lost 1 game and all that thing. Anyways. But then I fucking boxed 2 guys this morning. I mean, I can't even wipe my ass because my shoulders hurt so bad from throwing fucking
Tyson
haymakers.
Fury.
Oh my God, it's awesome. I come out of the Oculus. Blizzard, 20 degrees. Aaron Rodgers wearing his fucking long johns, his thermal undies that he wears. Yep. He's not even affected by the offense doesn't change at all with the way that weather was. You would think it would affect somebody that throws the ball so much, or maybe it would affect Devontae Adams. They weren't affected. They almost got better in that whole thing. Now that they're basically the NFC favorite, problematic if everybody has to go through fucking Lambeau. That is going to be a hard out for everybody. Aaron's going to win the MVP probably this week at some point. They're going to be home for all the playoffs. Shout out to our guy, Aaron.
Come on.
Good luck, NFC.
Good luck.
Good luck.
To your point, too, they got 3 running backs now in that stable. I mean, how hard is that to game plan for when you don't even know who's going to be lining up back there? And obviously, you got the MVP playing quarterback, slinging the pill.
Him, by the way, everybody just admitted it, yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Collinsworth, by the way, basically came out. Now Michaels basically came out and said it. And Collinsworth does have a vote because, remember, he had to answer for Russell Wilson never getting a vote early in the season.
Yep.
They came out and said, after what happened with the Chiefs and the Falcons, not that the Chiefs lost, but they were fucking close to losing to the Falcons yesterday.
Again.
And Patrick Mahomes, whenever he needs a play, he's going to make a play. And a lot of people say, well, he almost threw a pick to play before. Almost doesn't fucking count, okay? Almost could have threw a touchdown to pick the play before, too, if you really want to break it down. And he'll make a play when they have to make a play, which is what we've always said about the Chiefs. It feels like whenever they need it, they need it. You can go back to Wasp at the Super Bowl. You can go back whenever they were down 21 in the playoffs. You can go back when that team just has the ability to flip the switch whenever they want. And it seems like it goes through Travis Kelce, by the way, who Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes might be the only connection in the NFL that can compete with Aaron and Devontae at this point. Travis Kelce's his go-to guy whenever he needs something. And whenever he needs a play, he makes a play. And everybody knows that Patrick Mahomes is going to be a superstar for a long time. But the MVP of the season, it has been for a long time on this show. And are we biased because he comes on every week? Absolutely. Aaron's the fucking MVP of this whole thing. And I'm pumped to talk to him about it tomorrow. 44 touchdowns, 4,059 yards. 119.4 passer rating. Here we are, 15 games into the season. Next year, by the way, going to be 17-game season, so this will all change, I assume. All the stats and statistics and records will have to change. 70% completion percentage, 32 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the gold zone.
Jeez.
5 interceptions total, 12-3 record. He's unbelievable right now. We'll talk to him tomorrow. That was a great game to watch last night. I mean, Malcolm Butler making fun of the belt and then getting dunked on.
Yeah, come on, dude.
I mean, it was beautiful. It was just a cool night. Tonight, the Bills play the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
Oh, yeah, who cares? I mean, most likely the Patriots probably lose by 40. But
Oh, no,
I'll tell you who does care.
Let's go, Pats,
At
baby.
Bubba Gumpino, big Dolphins fan, and we will talk about the Dolphins having 2 quarterbacks. They say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, but the way B-Flow's operating is like, no. We got an ace, and then we got a closer. Mm-hmm. And watching that Dolphin situation yesterday, okay? With the Raiders, obviously the Raiders are the Raiders, and Gruden's record is what it is in December. I mean, it is. Those are tough stats to fall back on if you're John Gruden. I mean, $100 million he's making, but that Raiders team has to figure it out. But there's a couple situations late in that game where I was pumped to see if Tua had it. You know, those are some moments. Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys. At the end of the game, if he gets the ball, you know what's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers, he gets the ball late in the game, you know what's going to happen. Tom Brady used to be like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he isn't anymore, but it does feel as if there's a little bit of question when he walks on the field. But I wanted to see if Tua is that guy. Like, for instance, I think Herbert is one of those guys. For sure. Need a drive, he's going to make a drive for you. I would assume Joe Burrow, if they ever figure out how to get that team good, even though they won again, if they ever figure out, he'll be one of those. Will we ever find out if Tua's that guy? Because they got a fucking magic man on the sideline who was built for that. Do you care if you're a Dolphins fan and all that you haven't got a chance to see if Tua's that guy at the end of the game or not? Or you just, as long as we get a dub, we get a dub?
I'm obviously not comparing the two because it's early in Flores' coaching career, but I know how Patriots fans feel about Belichick. Oh, yeah. Whatever B-Flow says or does, fucking good with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By the way, one of the nicest throws. I mean, the face mask ripping off his head, basically, like it was it was like one of those tops of a drink that you have to twist off. You know, that's what his face looked like. 35-yard bomb down a sideline, 15 more on more. Jason comes out, kicks the field goal.
That last 5 minutes took about 10 years off my life. I was losing my mind. I thought we were dead. That pass interference,
By the way, rough day for analytics this weekend. Both Coastal Carolina game and also that game where they decided to take a knee on 2nd and goal whenever they could have scored a touchdown to put themselves up 6, I believe, or maybe 7 if they go for 2. And instead they take a knee to kick a field goal and they go up 1. Fuck you, Fitzmagic comes in, bang, bang, game over. Tough day for analytics and stats and things like that. But boy, what a weekend. I mean, it was awesome. That Coastal Carolina game.
Oh, jeez.
Coastal Carolina had a hell of a run, man. Hey.
Good season.
Hell of a run to Sean's.
Good season, Sean.
Good season.
Haven't really kept up with much of the bowl games, you know. There's a lot of them. Louisiana won one. I saw that. Cause the only reason why is because if I follow somebody, it shows up on the timeline. Oh,
yeah.
That's how I found out about Shantz or whatever. And I went back and watched the end of that game where they punched the ball out to 1 or whatever. Wild.
Both those quarterbacks, Liberty and Coastal, they might be a little crafty pros like Gardner Minshew, if you will.
Oh, Gardner Minshew, by the way. Jags, that worked out. The shout out to the Bears.
Yeah. Hey, come on, Chicago.
Zito, T's and P's. Hope you feel better, obviously. Getting tested literally as we speak right now. Chicago Bears playing football. Nagy saves his job. How you doing? Keep it moving. Got another year of Maserati Mitch, probably.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky, is he going to get the max going forward? I mean, he's playing at the top of his game now.
I mean, it is something to think about.
Why not?
It is something to think about. All right. We got to get to a break. We got Ian Rappaport joining us on the other side. We'll talk more about, stories around. Did Jared Goff break his thumb? Oh, no.
What's going on with Dewey Haskins?
By the way, Dewey Haskins. Hey, T's and P's to Dewey. T's and P's to Dewey Haskins.
T's and P's.
Stripper revenge game didn't work out.
He looked bad out there. 3 turnovers, I think.
Not good. No Terry, though.
This isn't a bad song. He didn't have any McLaurin. No. But it seems like his career is probably short.
Might be.
And that's a shame, I think, Because if you go back to draft night, a lot of people are rubbing in how he shook his head about Daniel Jones going to the Giants, and then he got benched yesterday for Mr. Heineke,
Oh, yeah.
And
Heineke Care Bowl.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke. Mm-hmm. But Dwayne Haskins feels like it's probably done. And with the way everything's going, body language-wise and off-field stories, That's going to be a tough sign for somebody. But hopefully somebody will give him another shot and he'll be able to grow up and mature in that whole thing. But boy, that's a tough situation over there. Alex Smith, if they win, they're in on Sunday night football against the Eagles. He's supposed to start, and if not him, then Heineke. Dwayne Haskins is third-string quarterback again. What a wild run this year has been for old Dwayne Haskins.
Wild.
Who knows how that's going to work out? The NFC East is still alive. Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. We'll do it all with Mr. Rappaport on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Mr. Aaron Rodgers! How was the bye week? You weren't allowed to leave. You weren't allowed to do anything. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I had the COVID test every morning, just like all of our guys.
Make sure you vote. Listen, if you don't vote, not having Aaron Rodgers Tuesday ever again, okay? Make sure you vote.
First Tuesday in November, right? So we're just going to skip this show?
No. Did you watch anything like maybe Ted Lasso during the bye week to help that entire thing out?
I didn't watch Ted Lasso.
Jesus.
Come on. Unbelievable. Don't vote, Aaron. Hey, don't vote.
You know, in a tent in nature, just camping on my own property.
You camped out on your own property during the bye week?
Yeah, I'm kidding about that.
Oh, my.
Did you really wear number 40 at West Virginia?
Yeah, it was my GPA and my favorite drink.
Oh, you are wearing shorts.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Oh.
Pat doesn't believe me that they don't give Toradol shots there.
They don't give Toradol shots. But Age would drink this green legume drink that I'm sure was legal, but it made his body he had the worst gas you could find.
How do you maintain that high level for so long? Is it like super competitive? Like you have to be an ultra competitive human being to be a quarterback?
Well, I think it starts with being hyper competitive. You know, I think that's a trait with all the long time great players is you just have. I love to compete. I think the most important thing is you have to be self-motivated, and again, that may seem like a standard statement, but it's not. I mean, not every player is self-motivated.
Hey, how's Jordan Love doing? We don't hear much about him.
This is a good time for him to learn, to see what it looks like, to see what the week's preparation look like, and just kind of soak it all up.
And does that change where you throw the ball to people if they're more of a body catcher or hands catcher or anything like that?
Anybody that gets the ball with their hands, it just changes the whole catch rate. It changes the whole confidence you have in throwing them. But anybody that naturally catches the ball with their hands probably gets a few more looks. I would say this: there's places that I would like to go in the future, and one of them is Egypt.
Ooh. When were the pyramids and the Sphinx? When were they constructed? Also, what kind of technology did they use?
It was aliens. Say it.
Yeah, it was definitely aliens.
Bingo. Yeah, there it is. By the way.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Huh?
Come on.
Welcome back. Overreaction Monday, December 28th here on the Pat McAfee Show. SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, also youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Currently 23,000 people watching. Appreciate you guys. Don't know what else you could be doing, but the fact that you're allowing us to penetrate your eye holes right now and your ear holes, we are very grateful for. Joining us now is a man with a lot of knowledge on a lot of things in the NFL. Host of Rap Sheet and Friends. He's also on NFL Network and NFL.com. Insider for the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah! Rap Sheet!
Rap Sheet!
What's going on?
What's going on, Rap Sheet?
So I get a question before you get to your questions for me. So you have me on a bunch,
Yeah.
and then you have Pelissero on a bunch.
Yeah.
Who is a better, more knowledgeable, and also more entertaining guest?
So, Rap Sheet, here's the thing about that is everybody's special in their own particular ways.
But how am I more special?
Well, you've led to a couple breaking news on the show. You know what I mean? Like, you've kind of like alluded to a couple. Pellissero's a little bit of a greedy prick when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. Okay. Greedy, Pelissero is amazing. Okay, he has a radio show on SiriusXM, so you can tell that whenever he gets into explaining things, he hits it from all different angles. You two have two different styles, but he gives us nothing. He'll get phone calls while the show's happening, won't even think about letting us know who it potentially is. You have given us little breadcrumbs before, which we do appreciate. So I think that is the two vast differences, even though you're both amazing on the show.
All right, I'll allow that. That's fair. So I'm better is what you're saying. Cool. I read between the lines. Great.
Tom Pelissero. We pronounced his name wrong the first 10 times he came on the show.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a couple weeks ago. It's Pelissero, not Sorrow. You know what I mean? Because
Oh, my God. He's the biggest jockey of pronunciation. He gets so pissed when people pronounce Matt LaFleur's name wrong. People say LaFleur.
Yeah.
It's actually LaFleur.
Yeah.
And he gets legitimately angry about it. He once did a segment on it because he was so pissed.
Well, that's because his name probably has been butchered so much. So he got upset
Stupid.
about it.
It's stupid.
How does it work with you two? You guys are just on one group text thread, and then as soon as somebody calls you or texts you, you guys have to get into the group text and say, does anybody else know anything else about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's me and Pelissero and Garofolo. And, I would say we share some information. If I'm on something, I'll be like, hey, FYI, this is coming, just so they're not blindsided. Or if it's like, hey, I got a lead on this, but you got good contacts here. Can you help me out? Or it'll be like, for Sundays, hey, I'm working on something, but you're covering the game. Let's get together on this, and we'll both talk about it on TV. That kind of thing. There's a lot of collaborative thinking.
How does that work business-wise then, huh? That has to be a
do you
little
mean?
Because so is it like when you get brought, you guys are just judged as a team? Like, are you judged as a team at NFL? Is that how it works, like from the business standpoint of it all?
I mean, I'm honestly not sure. I just know that I want to win as much as humanly possible. And so, like, for me, I wanted us to hire both these guys. I was very clear talking to our bosses, like, for each of these guys, like, I think these guys are the best, and I think we should go hire them. And we've made some other really good hires, too. But I'm just saying, these guys are two where I'm like, we should definitely go hire these guys. And I just know I wanted to win. And so we decided, like, all right, if we're either going to be three separate silos, and we'll break some news and we'll be fine, or we could just combine forces and do really well. We went with the latter, and I think that worked out.
Here's the church. Here's the steeple. Look inside, see all the people. Ooh. See what you guys did right there? That's what you guys did. That was awesome. That was awesome. You guys did that.
That's
Let's talk about some of your teamwork, shall we? 17 game season is a go for next year. Was there ever a thought of an extra bye week, or did this get expedited because of the current financial situation with COVID, or how do you feel like this whole thing got worked out?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the CBA, and it was always a possibility. I kind of, in my own head, was like, all right, it'll be kind of down the line whenever they do the TV deal. So I was thinking probably 2022, and then the pandemic hit, and then it's like, all right, it's not like everyone's having money problems. They're just not making as much as before. And when the revenue streams kind of dried up a little bit, obviously limited fans and all of that, it really became like, all right, how can they get more money this year to help? It's not just make more money. It's not like the owners need more money. It's also salary cap. You know, the salary cap projections for 2021 were so far off because, you know, there's been hardly any fans. You need to make up for that at some point. This was the best and most obvious revenue possibility. It actually helps all sides because you need to get an extra $1 billion or so for Week 17 that the players split with the owners. As soon as one TV deal gets done, whether it's, you know, Fox or NBC or ESPN or CBS or whatever,
Amazon.
then this will basically kick into place. And I think it'll be a very cool thing.
They're talking $100 billion in TV deals. 100.
That's over a lot of years, but yeah.
10, right?
I think that's what it would be.
10 years, $100 billion. And they still negotiate ways for their own network to have exclusive things. The NFL business model is insane. How come there wasn't an extra bye week thought about? Because you would think that's 2 more weeks of television.
I just have not heard any momentum toward an extra bye week.
The NFLPA should have pushed for that.
You know, it kind of, I don't know, it dilutes things a little bit. And I'm just not sure it's necessary. What I would be, you know, from a player rest standpoint, possibly, but I'm going to be really curious to see if some of these roster things that they've had now, like the flexibility, the 3 games of IR, guys being able to come kind of back and forth, unlimited promotions off the practice squad without going through waivers. Like, I wonder how much of that is going to stick, because it seems teams have more good players on the field this year, this time of year, than previous, which I think is a good thing.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of the stories that came out of yesterday. Jared Goff, we seen him pull his thumb out and put it back into place. And
Not great.
Not great at all. The thumb off the helmet is always a worry for quarterbacks. That's why a nice clean pocket is preferred by us NFL quarterbacks. Also, the running back got hurt for LA. Yeah, us quarterbacks. Third string, look it up. You got it for probably a little fucking Rolodex.
Were you the emergency quarterback?
Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, I got snaps every Saturday, dude. Every Saturday.
That's awesome.
Let's hear your Doc Siegel. Yeah, the whole thing. It is. There's some. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old boys who've started watching football with me, and now you get to hear everything on TV. Like, you could never really hear the signals. They're infatuated with the signals, so they walk around the house going green 80, green 80, and they want to know, like, do the quarterbacks practice that, and how does it happen? What does it mean? So I've had to talk more about quarterback signals than ever before, and it just warms my heart that you can now join our conversation.
Well, just let them know every Saturday I got working. Dallas Clark actually told the story the first time he saw me working on that my rookie year, where he was across the field, and he was like, I could probably I at least know the plays better. Like, that's always the reaction. Clyde Christensen, current quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was a big fan of mine. We golfed together. He saw I was athletic and he's throwing with me. He was the one that made the big push for me to be the emergency quarterback. Frank Reich, who is now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, was the assistant quarterback coach at the time. He's the one that went through the reps with me. So like the hand, everything like that. So NFL coach, quarterback here, no big deal. Currently 2 of the greatest, some will say. Even though that second half yesterday was a complete collapse. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. I'll ask for your kids tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers, what scary ninja means, because that was an early audible that Aaron made that I will be excited to see what that meant. Scary. Oh, we don't have enough guys. Ninja, whatever that means. We're doing that. So with the Rams, though.
Rams, yeah.
Running back at Jared Goff. They got a guy who's in the AAFL. What's going on with the Rams, and are they in a bad spot right now?
They are in a really rough spot right now, which is weird because they really are a very good team. And I would say they're in, you know, like a lot of the good teams now, it seems in danger of missing the playoffs somehow, some way. So you got Jared Goff, was a fractured and a dislocated thumb.
Jeez.
He popped it back in yesterday, which gives you chills just thinking about it. It's horrific. So that's going to need surgery. He's going to try to put off surgery till after the season, which from what I understand is possible. So he thinks he can play. He's going to try to push through it. We'll see. It seems nuts, but we will see.
So he's going to have a splint on that thing probably, huh? That's going to be...
Yeah, and we've seen this because Brady, it wasn't the same injury, but Brady, remember when he almost chopped off his thumb?
Oh, yeah, on a handoff.
Yes. So he played with like a hard...
who is it?
What do we got?
It's no caller ID. Did someone call me on purpose with no caller ID?
This is what happens whenever Pellicero's on. It's probably Tom.
Probably
It's probably Tom. To hell with Tom. No, unless he wants to come back on.
Should I get it? Do you want me to get it?
Yes, yeah, for sure,
well.
for sure. This is the first time a no caller ID. You missed it. There'll be another one. Hey, it's week 16. There's going to be a lot of news to break here. Don't worry about it. So
What if that was it? What if that was the big one?
Like Detroit selling their team?
Oh.
Is that happening?
I have not heard it's happening.
You don't sound very confident.
That's my nightmare, right?
What's that?
Is to be on and have someone just drop a hey, have you heard this? And it's something unbelievable, but like it's the NFL. Literally anything is possible at all times. Right. So I never laugh at those things. I'm always like, huh.
All right, so you'll probably go to the group text and ask if anybody's heard anything out of Detroit. The Rams are in trouble. Goff is going to try to power through that. Is there any big news you think that's going to come out? Any firings? It's too late in the season for a firing, right? People just wait till the season's over. What are some surprising things you think that we could expect this week to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I would say this week it was actually a Twitter alert from Mike Garafolo talking about Doug Peterson. It's a non-caller ID calling again. I'm going to have to get this.
Yeah. Please do.
Go.
Behind
the scenes.
They didn't respond.
Oh, it's Pelissero.
It's a ghost.
Yeah, it's Pelissero.
Probably.
Anyways, what should we look forward to news-wise? How about that Jalen Hurts, Doug Peterson situation with Wentz? That's wild.
It's wild. And, it's interesting. The Eagles aren't good, and obviously they're not going to make the playoffs. But to me, they're like the most interesting team heading into this offseason. Most interesting team by far. Because they could keep Carson Wentz, let the quarterbacks battle. Hard to imagine Wentz would want to do that, but what are you going to do, I mean, is he really going to ask to be traded rather than compete? I don't know if I see that. They could, I guess, theoretically trade Jalen Hurts. Maybe he's got value. Possible.
No way.
Unlikely, though. Or they could trade Carson Wentz. And maybe your team, Colts, says, you know what?
No.
Here we go. It's back.
I got to go.
Oh, all right, at Rap Sheet. All right, let's go. He's about to break news right now.
Huge.
All right, let's keep up with the Twitter account.
Notifications on.
I got to go.
That's big because he was getting a few calls and he didn't say that. So who the hell just called?
Is he in trouble for what he said on the show? Did he say something on the show?
Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody's canned right now.
I was wondering if Gase
all
and Nagy.
All right, let's go around the room here. Who's getting canned? Not Nagy.
Not Nagy,
sure.
no way.
Gase, no way.
Or they're picking up the option on Trubisky 5th year.
I thought they had to have done that already, didn't they?
Is there a deadline? Did deadline pass? I
I don't know. That's something sports shows should have.
What about Fangio?
Vic Fangio, and there's conversation about Elway potentially having to step down.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. So we've kind of locked in now on Denver is what we're thinking. All right, let's keep up with Rap Sheet.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe, the Washington football team is done with Dewey Haskins and they just want him out of the building.
Did they cut Dwayne Haskins?
Perhaps. Oh, man.
There's so much. Week 16 NFL, anything could happen. Let's go to the phones here real quick.
That was electric.
That was maybe the best exit of an interview we've ever had.
Gotta go.
The look on his face, the panic, his eyes.
Bro, he was going. His eyes got. For those that were just listening, his eyes got huge. You could see him start looking at his computer. I was assuming, does he type his tweets then? No, got to do it on the phone.
Yeah.
He's calling us on the computer, so he had to probably find the hang.
He's got a few phones too, so he's got. Who knows which one picked up?
Man, what the fuck happened right there?
It was big. Because a lot of guys, Pelissero, it happens to him. They get calls, but they never say, hey, I got to go.
Let's go to Kyle in Cleveland. Kyle, what's going on?
Man.
Hey, what's up? Shout out to you guys. Love the show. I do have my one big question for this week is if the Pittsburgh Steelers next week, now that they clinched the division, they're in the playoffs, are they going to sit their guys next week? And, making an easier path for Cleveland to get right into the playoffs.
Even if they sit their players, you think the Browns going to beat them? I mean, the Browns were out 45 players, lost to the Jets yesterday, Kyle.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're going to get at least some of those players back probably. You got to –
COVID?
At least 2 to 3 of those receivers back.
Kyle knows COVID better than us. We got a guy that got nobody else.
Last week, you guys win in the division. Now you're worried about the Steelers resting players.
What the hell's going on in Cleveland?
Hey, that's the highs and lows of being a Browns fan.
I could respect that, Kyle. The Browns losing to the Jets was interesting yesterday because they were out, 8 receivers? Yeah. They were also out 3 offensive linemen. And that can be tough, obviously, whenever you put together an entire game plan. And maybe Stefanski just decided to keep with his game plan no matter what. They had Baker throw the ball 53 times. And that stat can be alarming, okay? And I got a lot of people coming after me that was lazy analysis. That's just me looking at the box score and the stats and saying, oh, this is probably when they're going to lose games whenever they're doing this. Now, am I saying that they should have just force-fed Chubb and Kareem Hunt? Yes, I am saying that because that seems to be working for them. But even more so whenever you're out 8 wide receivers. Now, the 3 offensive linemen giving them no time and not being able to pick up yards, cool. But at least you're still chewing at the clock a little bit, right? You got to change your game plan whenever you're out a lot of stars. You got to hopefully play a little game management style. Him throwing it 53 times was wild to me. I thought that was wild to me. I put it out that it was wild to me. It was wild to a lot of people. Then I got a lot of Browns fans attacking me for not doing my deep dive analysis and watching the entire game, which, hey, that's on me. I didn't watch the entire. It was on. Hey, it was on. Especially whenever I saw you guys were about to lose to the fucking Jets. It was like, this is going to happen here. Whoa. Let's go ahead and watch this thing as they were pulling away 20-3 at one point. But for me, that you got 2 monsters in the back. You just feed them. I don't know why they didn't do that. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers Cleveland Browns game was supposed to be awesome. It was supposed to be Week 17, AFC North Championship on the line, probably Sunday Night Football. Instead, we got the Washington football team, Eagles, and that's because that game is the only one that isn't affected by any other games, I guess. Washington wins, and they're in, so all eyes are going to be on that game if the Cowboys can get another win against the Giants next week. But for me, that Steelers-Browns game was supposed to be awesome. Steelers turn around in the second half. Browns go the complete opposite direction. It feels like this could be a situation where the Browns have their best season they've had in a long, long time and maybe miss the playoffs. Dwayne Haskins has been released.
No.
Did we guess it?
Oh, my God.
One of our 4 guesses
was
that Dewey Haskins was getting released.
Holy shit.
So, Ian Rappaport just broke that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I got to go, he says. I got to go. Per me and Tom Pelissero, by the way, in the group text.
Nice.
Congrats, Tom.
Good job, boys.
Washington has released QB Dwayne Haskins, per me and Tom Pelissero, reports friend of the show at Rap Sheet Ian Rappaport. He actually ended our show early to get this tweet out. Could have done 2 birds, 1 stone. He chose not to. We thank him for his time. This is wild with Dwayne Haskins because Dwayne Haskins, everybody remembers the draft party. Everybody remembers where he was charging people to get into his draft party. Everybody remembers him shrugging off other quarterbacks getting drafted ahead of him after his illustrious career at Ohio State. Then things get a little bit rocky. Case Keenum, I believe, was the first quarterback to play. Dwayne Haskins was the backup quarterback. And during Case Keenum's playing time, Dwayne Haskins was nowhere near him. Dwayne Haskins was on the other end of the bench fucking around, messing around maybe with his friends. And I always wondered if you're a young quarterback like Tua was Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you're a high draft pick, probably going to be the future of the franchise. If they have a veteran starting over you, even if you don't like it, you should probably hang around that person to kind of learn how they operate. Be in their back pocket is how it's described in the NFL. And Dwayne Haskins did not do that. Then Dwayne Haskins got his chance to play at the end of the season last year, but it was an entire fire. New coaching staff. We've learned about the expose, but he showed some promise. Against the Packers last year, he showed a little bit of promise against them. Remember giving them a little bit of a problem. And going into the offseason, it was like, is Dwayne Haskins the future of the Washington football team? At that point, they didn't even have a team name, by the way. I don't even think they knew what was going on. Ron Rivera has him as a starter. He gets voted the captain by his teammates. So in my eyes, all the rumors that I had heard about him potentially having a weak work ethic or maybe not being a team guy from his body language on the sideline behind Case Keenum, whenever he was voted captain, that kind of relieved all that from me. I was like, all right, his teammates like him, his coaches like him. This guy has shown talent. Hopefully he'll be able to dive into the playbook and become an absolute monster out there. Then something happened, and it seemed to all fall apart. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's no longer the starter. He went all the way down to third string. Alex Smith is starting with a hamstring as a shin. Then as the season goes on, he goes back in there. He wins the game, ends up at the Booty Cheeks Club, comes back in yesterday, does 3 turnovers, seemed to have lost the trust from the entire organization. And today, overreaction Monday, December 28th, in his second year in the NFL, after being a very very, very, very high draft pick in the future of a franchise. Dwayne Haskins is cut, and who knows if he'll ever play again, get another opportunity anywhere. We hope he gets it figured out, but it seems like the situation behind closed doors was much worse than we thought with Dwayne Haskins and the Washington football team.
Whenever Jason Wright comes on, he always talks about culture. And so when you're doing all these things off the field, they really had no choice, right? If he's a distraction by doing everything he's doing with the strippers and not doing the media and all that.
See, the interesting thing about him with the strippers was, and this is why you didn't hear anything out of me, is because, the adult ballets are sometime in the cities that you go to on Sunday nights. If you want to see potentially in a normal year, some members of NFL teams, you're probably going to see is some. And now, COVID club's a little bit different. Okay, I would assume the COVID adult ballet industry has taken quite a hit, I'd assume. Mark Badd was on a show last week. He was in Vegas, and he said there's saran wrap between you and the ballerinas whenever you go there. So I would assume not just in Vegas it's taking a hit, but that place, the adult ballet is a place where some teams – so I didn't go after Haskins for that. The no mask was irresponsible. Of course. Okay? It's irresponsible. Can't be doing it. And you don't know who he's with. It hasn't come out that he's with anybody else. If he just went alone, then you got real problems about off the field. He's not hanging out with any of his teammates. What's going on? So I didn't really go. But then, after you have a bad performance and on a sideline, your body language, it's a lot of his body language. It looks like he doesn't care. And I think that is something that potentially radiated with Ron Rivera, who said he has to mature and learn, because he looked like he was disinterested in how good the Washington football team did and only cared about himself, which is not what you want, especially at a quarterback position of a franchise you're trying to flip on its head and turn back around, especially with a new culture. So it was, by the way, we guessed it.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever Rappaport left, we guessed it in one of our first couple guesses because it almost looked obvious to a lot of people from the outside. But if you take a trip back 1 year ago, he went to school with one of Snyder's kids, right? Yeah. Like he's from the area. Oh, man. Did Dwayne Haskins ever get a chance?
Jeez.
That's going to be the story.
Well, some people may say that when he did charge people to come to his draft party, that was the beginning of his decline. So you might want to go back to even that.
I wonder, man, what's going to happen with him.
Well, and the sideline's so big, right? Like, Tua's always in Fitzmagic's pocket. He's had Alex Smith and Case Keenum, and he's just...
Yeah. But that's like what happens with quarterbacks. Like, even when Luck was starting and Hasselbeck was the backup, like as soon as Luck comes off the field, Hasselbeck was just following him right over the sideline. Yeah. What did you see? This is what I saw, maybe. It's kind of like it's like Rappaport's little room there. Oh. Yeah, quarterback rooms are one where they're all trying to help each other, like that's the whole purpose of it. So when Haskins was just on the other end of the field from Case Keenum, my first thought was like, well, that's weird. He should be trying to learn. Not that Case Keenum's like a Hall of Famer, by the way. I can understand how Dwayne Haskins was potentially upset. Case Keenum, Minneapolis Miracle. Let's put a little respect on his name. Shut down the internet and everything basically that night. But Dwayne Haskins was nowhere to be found. It was all very weird to me. But that entire franchise, they fired a coach in his rookie year. There was exposés. And now this year with this whole thing, I don't know. The conversation is going to be an interesting one around Dewey Haskins for a long, long time. Cut on a Monday. The Washington football team can win the NFC East by beating the Eagles on Sunday night. And this is the quarterback depth chart. Alex Smith, who has a calf strain. Didn't even know he still had a calf, by the way. Congrats, Alex Smith, by the way, being able to turn this around. If he leads the Washington football team to the playoffs, Alex Smith, especially with everything going on, I mean, he's already won Comeback Player of the Year. Maybe Comeback Player of the Decade, Alex Smith.
Maybe they changed the award to the Alex Smith Award.
Why not?
They should.
17 surgeries or something like that. Almost died.
Yeah.
Now he's got a calf strain the guy's coming out of. Taylor Heineke played yesterday. Can throw the ball, sling a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's the X factor that you need to win a potential division, but hey, it's the NFC East. And then obviously Steven Montez, who's on the practice squad. And people said when Tez gets his legs, it is a problem for Jens. And that is very true, obviously. But what a fucking day over there in Washington. Gotta go, Rappaport. Yeah. Gotta go. His eyes get huge. Oh, motherfucking starting quarterback got cut week 16, and they're still in it? Okay. Sorry, dude. This interview stinks. He said that's his biggest fear, right? I'll be on and something big happens. Who called him? Was that Ron Rivera?
We wonder which phone.
It looked like he was reading a text, right?
Yeah.
So the text popped up on the FaceTime screen because he was looking right at the camera when his eyes got big.
Man. A.J. Dillon has answered, by the way.
No way. Did he?
A.J. Dillon. AJ, the sauce Dillon has answered us talking about in a complete. He still remembers that hit to this day.
Oh, how about that, huh? How about that?
You set the tone.
It was a message sending hit. That's what I was saying with the first quarter.
Hey, kid, if you want to make something of yourself in this sport, you better fucking play until the whistle
This
blows.
is a different league, okay? This is a different league in Massachusetts. We sent messages in the first quarter, and he still remembers that message. How about that?
Oh, my God. Woo! Guy had 100 and some yards last night in the NFL.
Hey, if Tennessee wants to reach out, I'm still available. I got eligibility. If they need a linebacker, I will answer the call.
The way you told that story.
Look, I will find the in the hole hit. I will. That just happened to be the first one that popped up.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Nate in Louisiana. What's going on, Nate? Jesus Christ.
Hello.
How are you, Nate?
I'm doing good.
I'll tell you what, Nate. We're living in a rough time right now. I mean, this is insane. A.J. Dillon's talking about Connor's hit from 10 years ago.
It was a big hit.
I mean, we got a guy on the show breaking the biggest news of the NFL literally immediately upon leaving. Didn't even leave us any breadcrumbs, by the way. No. Nate, what do you want to talk about, pal? All right, Nate's done. See you, Nate.
See you, Nate.
Appreciate you, Nate, down there in Louisiana. Ron Rivera has released a statement on the Dwayne Haskins release. This afternoon, I met with Dwayne, and I informed him that we would be releasing him. I told him that I believe it benefits both parties that we go our separate ways. We want to thank Dwayne for his contributions these last 2 seasons and wish him well moving forward.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, best for both parties.
Yeah.
That's business, baby.
What?
Yeah, it's best for both parties because if I remain around you, I'm going to smack you in the mouth. And if you leave, my life's going to be better. Man, this is wild. There was a bunch of rumors about what happened, immediately upon him getting benched out of nowhere. I wonder if those stories will all come out. This is a wild time to be alive if you're a Washington football team fan. And Dwayne Haskins, I assume. And if you're Dwayne Haskins, you have to wonder, have I done enough on the field that warrants the alleged stories? Now, I assume Ron Rivera, who is very well respected amongst NFL coaches, they'll reach out to him to say what's going on and all that stuff for him to clear waivers and everything like that. Has he done enough on the field that warrants a team potentially bringing him in to be a practice squad quarterback? You would like to think maybe, but I assume not, especially at this point. Why would you? I don't know, dude. This sucks. I feel bad. I don't feel bad for Dwayne Haskins because he kind of made his bed. But he's young. He is a very young man. And this is going to be quite a lesson of getting baptized in the real world, or you can't fuck around if you really want a chance at something because you will get cut. This is the first time he's ever been told that he's not good enough to be a part of a team, right? Mm-hmm. High school, I assume he was good. Ohio State, he was really good. High draft pick to Washington. He was starting for Washington's hometown team. Probably felt as if he was untouchable. Now he's just got his first taste of reality here as of the last 30 minutes or whatever with Ron Rivera. I'll be intrigued to see how this whole story goes for Dwayne Haskins. Hopefully in a positive way, but it feels like potentially the other way.
Brutal for Dewey, but you got to assume if the Rosen one's still getting jobs, Dwayne's going to get picked up by somebody.
Yeah,
right?
but you don't hear it. The thing is distraction, right?
Yeah.
Is if you get labeled a distraction, it doesn't matter who you are. If you get labeled a distraction, the olds in the NFL do not want you in their fucking locker room. That's just the way it is. And people can be like, well, that's not right that some people get mislabeled a distraction. It's like, I agree with you. By the way, I want to let you know I agree with you. But that's just how the NFL is. That's just the way it goes. And it feels like Dwayne Haskins is potentially going to get labeled a distraction, which sucks.
The Rock's first big signing.
Ooh.
Now, if he goes to the XFL, I'll be intrigued. If they could put him in Midwest team so he can maybe get some of the Ohio State love or push or something like that, maybe that'll be good. What were you saying back there? Tom Pelissero has reported that Dwayne Haskins is due $4.266 million in fully guaranteed base salary over the 2021 and 2022 seasons. Any team that claims him off waivers would be on the hook for that. A relatively small price if someone thinks they can unlock the 23-year-old former first-round pick. So it could also be a professional golfer for the next 2 years.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
There's a thought.
Make 8.52 or whatever it is over the next 2 years, just golfing and chilling, maybe.
I wonder how Dewey is with the sticks.
I had a friend. He's very athletic. I'd assume he could probably figure it out if I had to guess. I wonder how he is in the Oculus, fucking Dwayne.
Oh.
Hey, Dwayne, you want to get a little
Only one way to find out.
Hey, I'll tell you, I am a problem in the Oculus boxing. Is everybody just knocking out everybody they fight? I don't know. I
don't think so.
It's like that Mike Tyson punch out. Like, you know how you just beat everybody, lean up? The thrill of the fight, that's the game I'm in, where you just kind of go up people like that.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if everybody just knocks everybody out, because that's all I'm doing. I'm fucking just painting the canvas with humans. Just see you later. Guy's name was The Artist because he was a knockout artist from Bangkok. Mm-hmm. Fucking first round TKO, pal.
See you later.
See you later. Get out of my fucking ring. And then I celebrate afterwards, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Put the belt on.
I'm boxing in arenas now, by the way. I was once in gyms, and then I moved up to like an armory. Now I'm in a full arena. This morning, I walked into a full arena. They came to see the boy.
100,000 people.
Here we go. No, it was like 5,000.
Oh, okay.
A little bit smaller.
Oh, for now.
But I could see the top row, and I was like, just wait till you see the one. Hour one's wrapping up. Michael Lombardi joins us on the other side. What's happening in the world? We'll find out. Go take a shit. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said.
No.
What is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard. And 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with the goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014. Do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece.
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidences. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff?
He's
it's
a time.
Got to be time traveler.
Matt Groening is a time traveler. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998. They said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-Eyed Fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-Eyed Fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall, planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening. And guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. The dumbest show of all time. Overreaction Monday, December 28th. Hour 2 begins. Right now, let me recap the first hour of the show. I speculated on who will rest players, why some teams shouldn't rest players. Then we had Rappaport on, who in the middle of the interview, his eyes got massive as if he was, I smoke rocks guy seeing crack cocaine. I mean, he went bonkers, and then he immediately broke that Dwayne Haskins has been released from the Washington football team with 1 week remaining in the NFL season, which is absolutely... Don't go to Lombardi, I'm being told in my ear. Who knows where he is at? He's sprinting. He seems to be sprinting to a place. We'll talk to him. Then in the first hour, we broke down A.J. Dillon having a massive night for the Packers last night. Connor found some game film from his senior year, which is his 5th year of high school, because he took his junior year twice at 2 different schools.
Had to do it.
Him tackling A.J. Dillon on the sideline after A.J. Dillon had broke 10 tackles, basically. Connor comes in, cleans up the scraps, decleats him. And the way Connor told us the story was that he met him in the hole and drove him all the way out of bounds, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that tape still is lost, but the big hit. A.J. Dillon then tweeted that he remembers that hit to this day, okay? So Connor also said that Dwayne Haskins maybe gets released. And I go, the Redskins or the football team cuts Dwayne Haskins. Connor has had maybe the best hour of radio or of anything that I've ever seen in the history of media. So congrats to Connor.
Connor.
Of radio. I've had the best hour of my entire 25 years on this planet in that first hour.
Well, let's go ahead and cool it off. Let's figure out what you can do this hour.
I'll fuck it out the door.
Joining us right now is a man who's a former general manager and a man who is a coaching consultant to the Patriots, a man who's an author, host of the GM Shuffle and Hammer Don, which is the gambling podcast that we put out of this office here. He writes for The Daily Coach, which is an email and newsletter that shows up every morning with a little bit of motivation. The guy literally does everything. I'm not sure how he fits it all into his day, but we're thankful he can join us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Thank you. I was jogging here from my office to here, so I'm back. I'm ready to go. What a day already, huh?
Yeah, well, let's talk about. We'll get to all that, but let's talk about the tweet that you just put out because a little bit disparaging. I mean, did not expect this from you. At M Lombardi NFL, by the way, the punter and the owner/head scout wanted to prove they were much smarter than most, even those in their organization, and selected Dwayne Haskins, ignoring the signs of problems. Okay, so we'll get into the Dwayne Haskins release. For sure. He goes from starting quarterback last week to starting quarterback yesterday to being released on the day after the game with 1 week left in the season whenever they have the NFC East to win Sunday Night Football. But aside from all that, the punter and the owner wanted to prove they were much smarter than most. What's that all about?
Okay, so the former general manager of the team I worked with in Oakland, and I never call him by his name. He was a punter from Richmond. And he got drafted in the 12th round by the Baltimore Colts. You could figure out his name. I'm never saying his name. And so I always refer to him as the punter. And then the owner is Dan Snyder, who's the owner head scout. Because literally, I mean, everybody from Jay Gruden to their head, everybody was telling him, look, Dwayne Haskins is not what you think he is. He's got some issues off the field that he's not disciplined. He doesn't care enough about it. So that's why that tweet came out.
Michael, why do you think they voted him captain? Because that was big for me. Because I'd heard all those rumors that you're referring to about how he's not in it for the team. He doesn't love football. He doesn't care about winning. He's just, he's a talented guy. Obviously has a lot of talent. But in the NFL, a lot of people have talent. It's taking it the next step, especially at the quarterback position. I had heard all those rumors. And then going into this season, I thought last season wasn't really given an opportunity. Coach is fired. All these exposés are coming out. The place is upside down. Going into this season with Ron Rivera, though, a nice steady voice. He had the C on his chest. He was starting. I was like, okay, maybe everything we had heard about him off the field was wrong. How does that happen? And then this happened. How did he get voted captain? Like, did something change? Did he somehow Zoom call his way through leadership? Like, how did that whole thing happen? Was that Ron's fault, you think? The team? Like, how did that work?
I think when the Pat McAfee office starts to get into 30-30 business and does documentary, this might be the first one you want to work on. It's like, how did this happen? Like, how did a guy whose behavior has never been reminiscent of a captain become a captain? Was this Dan Snyder said, hey, let's throw the kid a bone? Now, remember, he lost 25 pounds this offseason. Everybody said he was working harder than he possibly could have worked, right? And I think today, the Daily Coach today, I wrote about Joan Didion, one of the great writers of all time, and she talked about, in a passage from Slouching from Bethlehem, an essay she wrote about how we can't forget, as we all start to prepare for New Year's and have resolutions, we can't forget the past person we was. We can't say we don't want to talk about what we did because that person shows up at 4 a.m. and kind of says, well, who's abandoned me? Well, Haskins never acknowledged he was doing things wrong in the past. And he thought that if I lose weight, I'll win everybody's confidence. And those habits that he thought he changed never really changed.
He's young.
Immature. He's immature. A lot of it is immaturity.
I agree. By the way.
And the best thing that happened to this kid, and I would tell him this, is now you have a chance to rebuild your career. Because as fear does the work of reason. When you're fearful, you're not going to have a career. And let's be honest, who's going to sign Dwayne Haskins for a third-string quarterback job? Who? Tell me. No one. So his career is at a crossroads after 2 seasons. And it's not like it's drug-related or he's been suspended. This is behavior-related based on caring. It's based on maturity. And he can fix that.
Okay, so I hope he can as well, by the way. This was a story that 10 years from now will be talked about in 2 different ways. How this moment today with Ron Rivera either pivoted him into becoming everything that he could become, with his potential being one that's very high. He can sling the rock. It seems like if you watch practices, he can go ahead and put the ball wherever it is. But off the field, will he dive into being an NFL quarterback with no fear? That whole without fear, there's no reason. That's a great quote, by the way, because he's probably always been unbelievable. I would assume in high school he was unbelievable. College, he was unbelievable. You go to the Washington football team, it's your hometown team, you're friends with the owner. I mean, you probably feel as if you're invincible and can do whatever the hell you want and not be held to the same standard. But I fear that nobody, like, what's he going to have to do? XFL next? I fear he's been labeled a distraction already, and he's only, 24 years old. And once you get labeled a distraction, you got no chance of getting back into the league.
No, and I think this, Pat, let's be real honest. Part of this is his problem, but also part of this is the system problem, right? So he's a highly recruited kid. He's a 5-star kid coming out of high school. And the guy that really suffered more from him than anybody is Joe Burrow. Because when Joe Burrow was coming out, he was a 3-star. And they put all their eggs in this 5-star basket of Haskins, and they basically started to kiss his butt. They started to do things to get him. And that self-entitlement that people give you, you start to think it just comes with every day. Burrow was the 3-star. You know, they never thought Burrow was quite as good. And so Burrow had to transfer to LSU because of Haskins. And Burrow never opened his mouth. He never said anything. In fact, I know from a former coach that worked there that Burrow didn't even wear the red jersey. They let the defense hit Burrow.
That's why he fucking just eats hits all the time. The Ohio State just ruined him.
Good God.
Unbelievable.
So, but they kissed Haskins' butt, and he's had his butt kissed so much that no one's de-recruited him. No one's brought him in and said, okay, it's all over with. We're not it's over. The scholarship's over. And that's a big problem.
How do we change that, though? Because especially with social media, right? I mean, Zion, I don't know how Zion isn't the biggest prima donna of all time. I've been watching him since he was literally 12 years old, dunking on little white kids in South Carolina, right? South Carolina, that's where it was. He was dunking on superstar, megastar, goes to Duke, megastar, Pelicans, megastar, but he's still somehow very humble. I'll be intrigued to see going forward how the superstardom doesn't affect people off the field as much as it does. It's already, I mean, it's happened since the beginning of time, obviously. There's a lot of mentions in the YouTube comment section about Ryan Leaf, who we've had on our show, and that situation was one that is obviously ended up sad at the time. I think there's a redemption story. Who knows long-term how that whole thing works out, but I feel like that is potentially going to be a problem as the world continues to build everybody. It's like the everybody gets a trophy type thing, right? It is something that is going to inevitably affect some things, and you just hope that Dwayne Haskins is able to learn from this moment, which is obviously going to be low point of his life thus far. I mean, granted, I don't know him that well, so that's a complete assumption, but professional football life, this is the low point of his football life, is this enough to change something and get him into being like the hardest worker in the room, which is what you want your quarterback to be if he's going to lead $1 billion operation.
Yeah, and what you want to hear him say is, look, I screwed up. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's on me. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to do everything I have to do. Take responsibility. But he's yet to take responsibility. It's been, well, the system was bad. He's always been about the things that come with being a player, not the process of being a player. And that's a dramatic difference.
Hey, you and I have talked about this. I started seeing this as social media got bigger. In the offseason, you have 100 guys on the team, 90 guys on the team or whatever. And as soon as the guys would get there for OTAs or the offseason workouts, they go right to their Twitter and Instagram bios, member of the Indianapolis Colts, you know what I mean? Pro NFL football player for the Indianapolis Colts. And then I don't see them doing extra reps on the jugs or anything like that. And I'm like, that's a cool bio for the next 3 months or so. But when football actually happens, are you going to take that off and just say former professional football player? Or are you going to do everything that it takes to actually remain an NFL football player? Because everybody wants to be a Lion until it comes time to do what Lions have to do. And that's kind of like the whole thing about the NFL. It's not easy being an NFL player. Getting there, obviously impossible. Staying there is a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal.
When I talk to players before the combine or in preparation, I always ask, do you have Kobe Bryant's picture up in your room? Oh, yeah, I love Kobe Bryant. Do you know how hard Kobe worked? Do you know what Kobe did? Do you understand Kobe Bryant? Do you understand what Kobe did? Do you understand that 4 o'clock in the morning he was in the gym? Do you understand that Kobe would practice for 8-9 hours a day? Do you understand nothing was more important in Kobe's life than being the best pro he could possibly be, being the best of his? I mean, because if you're going to hang that picture up on the wall and you want to emulate him, you better understand who you're dealing with. Because Kobe just didn't sign autographs. Kobe just didn't show up. Kobe worked the work.
What you do in the dark will come to the light. That goes for everything. especially in the world that we're in right now, but also with the work that you put in when you only have 7 or 16 Sundays to prove what you've done all year. It kind of figures out. Hopefully Dwayne Haskins will be able to figure it out from this moment and move forward. Incredibly talented dude. I hope he doesn't fucking waste it like it seems like he has thus far. Let's talk about some other things. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, the last 90 minutes of football, Mike, they've played very good football the last 90 minutes. Are they getting hot at the right time, or is this them playing bad football teams?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, they play, the Atlanta game. I mean, look, Atlanta gave Kansas City everything he wanted to do, and they just kind of plowed through Atlanta in the second half there. And then, against Detroit. Detroit's too slow, had no coaches. I mean, but it's all going to be the matchup. If Washington wins this week, and Tampa has to go into Washington, that's not the perfect team for Tampa to play because they can rush 4 guys and put pressure on Brady. That's always been the recipe against Tom. And whether they can hold up on the outside, he'll make plays, whether they can score any points with their offense, who knows. But I think that the Bucs still have the same symptoms and problems when they play against certain teams, especially teams that are good with a defensive front that can pressure Tom and make him play faster.
Hey, there's a lot going on in that NFC right now. The Rams, Jared Goff last night, exactly what we talked about. The Jared Goff live bet. Last night I was too scared to do it just because it looked like the Seahawks were completely dead. But the Jared Goff live bet, if you watch the first 2-3 series and Goff looks like uncomfortable, go ahead and hammer the other team. Now, it didn't happen until later in the game. The Seahawks kind of took over, but Goff never looked comfortable. I think he only had like 215 yards or 200 and some yards before he broke his thumb. That offense seems to be so hit or miss over there. You can't really trust them to do much, but the Seahawks win the NFC West for the first time since 2016. Are they a real contender in this thing, or is everything run through Green Bay because everybody's going to have to probably go to Lambeau?
Well, I mean, they're going to have a problem with Aaron. There's no doubt. I mean, the way Aaron played last night, he won the MVP. But I think you got to take your hat.
Congrats, Aaron. Woo! Congrats, Aaron. Proud of you, bud.
Take your hat off to Pete Carroll. He got his defense fixed. He's got him playing in the 8-man front. I mean, Jamal Adams is a linebacker. And he's a good linebacker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing him. But they got him, he's playing down the box. They kind of got him matched. He attacks the pocket. And their gap integrity's improved. But you're right about Jared Goff. I mean, I knew yesterday, on the Hammer Down, I had the Rams as one of my picks. And after the second series, I said to my wife, this is not going to go well. This is a blow. I blew this one. This is over with. This is not the way I envisioned the game going. And if I were a betting man, I would have gone to an app and bet against them. But I think Seattle's dangerous because Russell still hasn't played to the level we saw him play earlier in the season. And there's some of that's left to be played. They'll give Green Bay trouble. But I'm telling you something now, this Green Bay team, the way they played last night, the way Aaron's playing, with Devontae Adams healthy, and that if they can set the edge like they did last night with Gary really helping them, they're a hard out now. They're going to be tough to play, especially, Pat, you've done it. I mean, you've played in a dome, you've played outside. The Packers looked like Eskimos, how comfortable they were throwing and catching outdoors last night.
They did look like a bunch of Inuits running around out there. The thing about them is their offense did not change at all. It did not. None. It almost looked better because the D-line slipped, don't have as good a traction when they're trying to work their thing. Everybody thinks about wide receivers footing and corners footing, but D-line footing is a big deal as well. I'm not saying the offensive line isn't, but it was obvious that the Green Bay Packers were much better prepared in the conditions than you get it, the fucking other team, Tennessee Titans. But the defensive line couldn't get any rush. Aaron was sitting back there for like 10 seconds at a time. And if you give Aaron Rodgers 6-7 seconds to just sit there, because he knows what defense you're in, so he knows exactly who's going to open up. And how about him last night with a little 15-yard skirt? I mean, they're playing their best football. Defense was opportunistic. They seem to be playing their best football right now. That's going to be trouble, people going down Lambeau, daughter.
How about he takes off for 15 yards, gets the first down. Goff takes off and slides 3 yards short of the first down. Like, seriously. Like, get the first down, dude. Like, you're not sliding. We're not playing the Mets in a doubleheader. Get the first down, And I thought, the one thing, I don't think fans understand this. That football, as wet as it is and as cold as it is hard to throw. That's one thing. It's even harder to catch. Now, you could catch it, but you double catch it. Those Packer receivers, there was no double catch at all. They caught that thing clean. They were perfect, and he threw it like it was an 80-degree day in Green Bay. It was really impressive to watch.
And he jogs out there, because they do zoom in on – I tell him this every time I talk to him. They zoom in on his face more than any other quarter. I mean, they are on his face as tight as possible. Oh, yeah. And there's just snow coming down sideways, and he just looks like the most calm dude of all time going out there. Like, this is not a problem. That whole team seems to be rallying around each other as well. A lot of celebrating. You can tell a lot about how a team's operating in the locker room, how close they are by their celebrations and how happy they are for each other. I mean, that is – and another team in the NFC we have to talk about, speaking of celebrating –
excuse me.
Hey, God bless you. God bless you.
Bless you, Mike.
Hey, may the Lord be with you, Bo. May the Lord be with you. Whichever one. The Saints, they win the NFC South, okay? Kamara scores 6 touchdowns. Should have been 7. Sean gave one to Taysom whenever they were on the 2. Thought he wasn't going to be able to get to 6. Could have broke the record. He had 6 touchdowns. You've been on the train early that Kamara should be in the MVP conversation. You're not saying he should win it, but you've been saying that Kamara should be in the conversation. When Taysom Hill was the quarterback, he wasn't having his best games. But when Drew Brees is in there, Kamara is on a different planet playing football.
No doubt. And I think the difference here is when you watch them play, they always motion a guy across, and then they set the defense. And then Drew usually gets him into a play that he wants. I'm not sure Taysom's that good to be able to get them into the best run play. So when they don't have that ability to motion, reset, okay, I want to run it here against this front or that front, right or left, then I think it affects Kamara. But that when Breeze was back, they did their motion, they reset the snap count, they called the run. Then all of a sudden he was really good. And look, Minnesota, we know they're not good on defense, but Kamara was sensational. And the way they played, Breeze cuts down on the interceptions and the bad balls. They're a tough out too. Now they're going to have to go to Green Bay. That'll be a tough place to play for Drew.
Yeah, Drew's arm, I'm not saying is dead because
but it's going to be hard.
I'm not going to say his arm's dead, Mike, because Saints fans come after me a lot. But, I mean, that looks like a much different ball coming out of that jugs machine than it did earlier in the year. And I don't. And you can look back to previous years. This seems to be a trend with Drew at the end of the year. Now, 5-week break last year with Teddy B, 4-week break this year. Maybe that'll continue to happen. You go back 2 years, though, before the breaks there in the middle of the season, because of I don't want to air quote that, because of actual injuries or whatever, the ball just starts spinning a little bit slower. Father Time has its way with everybody. Now, is this the year where Drew goes on a run and he sails off in the sunset? Maybe. But in the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs, Mike, they can win whenever they have to. It feels like they'll be able to flip a switch. They're going to be a tough out for anybody. Is this a year where they get got, though, because of how they've been playing?
I was at the Borgata yesterday, and Thomas Gable, who runs the sports book, said we've made more money on the Chiefs in the last 6 weeks than any team in the league.
Never cover.
And everybody thinks they're going to cover, and they never cover.
Why is that? Is that because they're bored, do you think?
I don't know if they're bored. I mean, the last couple weeks, the philosophy has been, we're not going to give up a big play. We're going to keep the ball in front of us and make them have to execute and see if they can do it. And then their offensive line, for as great as they are at the skill position, you can pressure them. I mean, I think if Green Bay gets to play them in a Super Bowl, I think Green Bay could give them a lot of problems because Green Bay has a quarterback who can match them points, and they have a defense that can set the edge and pressure those tackles and make it a little uncomfortable for Mahomes. Now, look, I don't think it's going to be a 17-14 game like it was yesterday for them beating Atlanta. But if Matt Ryan was a little better yesterday, they could have won that game.
Bro, that's been a couple times this year. And it's like, they're the Chiefs, so you're automatically, they're going to win. And it seems like when Patrick Mahomes needs a play, he's going to Kelsey, by the way. Kelsey is third down, fourth down, they need it. It's going to Kelsey, even though he threw a touchdown on somebody else. It feels like those two are really good. But, man, I watch the Chiefs, and I'm starting to think, yeah, I get it. You can just turn on this. You can just flip the switch or whatever. But what if you can't one day? What if you're reliant? This is like a 3-point shooting team. Every once in a while, a 3-point shooting team will have a cold day, and it's like you think you can just turn it on. But what if you get cold one day and you can't? I don't know. I love the Chiefs. Okay, let's not get crazy. I'm a big fan of the way they play. play. I still think they're awesome, but the way they've been winning games has been very expensive for my bank account. It's been great for sports books. And I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you got to be like, all right, at some point we should just start getting back to what we were doing. Let's talk about getting back to what they were doing. The Steelers in the second half, now granted, the Colts collapsed. The refs handled them some plays, you know what I mean, with pass interferences and holding and everything like that. But it seems like the Steelers learned how to play football again in the second half. They do not have to win this game against the Browns this weekend. Are you resting your Steelers team if you're the GM of the Steelers because of the early bye week and how long this season has been? Or are you going to have them keep it going with how they learned how to play football again in the second half?
I think it just look at the line. The line, I don't know what you have it as. The line's 7.5. That tells me the Steelers aren't playing their guys.
Yeah, 6.5 over here.
Dogs against the Brownies. They're not playing their guys. I think this is a Mason Rudolph game.
Would you do that? Is that your move if you're GM?
Well, I can't improve my position. If I can't, I think I got to get – these guys haven't had a bye all year, Pat.
I know, but they just remembered how to play football, literally.
But Big Ben looks like he could use the bye, and you can't – one thing, you know this better than anybody, you can't rest everybody. They only got 53 guys.
Yeah.
So guys are going to have to play, but I can't let Ben out there. I got to rest him and get him ready to play whomever we're going to play, and it looks like it could be Cleveland again if they're the 7th seed.
That happened to us whenever we chose to lose to the Jets. We ended up playing the Jets again in the playoffs, and we all very much understood that if we lost to the Jets after losing to them on purpose, that would be quite a karma kick in the ass if that was to happen. So we obviously didn't. We were a much different team, I think, than the Steelers are currently, but for me, that week 4 bye week is a long, long time ago. The 3 different day of games for that Baltimore week is also exhausting. I understand they're humans and everything, but boy, if I would send them out there for a couple series, like a preseason game, though. You know, I would send them out there for. We did that against the Jets, and we did that against the Bills, week 16 and week 17, the year we went undefeated, because there was records and clauses and contracts that had to happen,
you got to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I do. What's that, Nick?
I have a question, follow up on the bye week thing, not just physically, but like mentally. How refreshing is that for guys?
Oh, huge. The boys on the sideline without their shoulder pads on in the second half with their shoes on. Oh, I bet you guys would be give me some peanuts, you know what I mean? Give me some seeds. There'll be some guys maybe sneaking some other things in there on the sideline, you know what I mean? Hey, for a second half, got a little gummy here. You know what I mean? That would be...
You'll need a tip to Mater D to get near the heaters in Cleveland. I can promise you that. There'll be a bunch locked around there. You're going to have to tip that. You have to tip the guy to come in there. It's like, remember in Goodfellas where they bring the table right up front? That's what you're going to have to do to get near those heaters.
They might bring another. Ben's probably calling in another one. Hey, we need another. I'm going to be standing on the sideline the whole second half. Let's talk about that Browns team. They lose to the Jets. They are out 8 wide receivers and 3 offensive linemen. Going to be a tough game. They threw the ball 53 times. Would you have ever expected them to do that? Did you watch that game? I was getting attacked because I didn't watch every snap of that game, but I know if you're throwing it 53 times and you're the Browns, probably not a recipe for success. This is just like the Ravens, who look hot, by the way. The Ravens look hot. Keep an eye on them. The Ravens last year, remember they went on that run where Lamar Jackson was trying to prove everybody wrong and Greg was having them throw 40, 50 times and they were losing. Then they went back to running and they became the Ravens again. You have Baker throw 53 times. I don't think you're going to win. That's not the way the team's set up, especially with 8 wide receivers out.
Yeah, and I think this is a game where Stefanski really impressed me after the game with his press conference. He said, hey, look, this had nothing to do with us not having receivers. This had everything to do with the Jets front kicking our ass. I mean, we couldn't run the ball. They ran it 15 times, and they couldn't run the ball. I mean, Chubb couldn't get it going. And just like you said, this is it. The Browns, the Titans, there are certain teams that have to play their style. When they play outside their style, they're not very good. You know, and we saw it last night with Tennessee. Tennessee can't play from behind, right? The Browns, they can't play from behind because the ball's in Baker's hand. Nobody respects the run when they're playing from behind. And Baker's a good player. He's a system player. And when he removes himself from that system, drop back passes 53 times, you're not getting the same results.
Oh, man, I wrote this down last night about, can Tannehill win a game by himself? You know, if Derrick Henry isn't getting yards, and even if he is, but you need to score points, can Tannehill do it himself? Then he had that big long run, and I was like, maybe Tannehill can, but they all are predicated off of Derrick Henry doing his thing, and they're just going to have to you have to have the lead, and you have to be able to wear out the clock with the Titans. But the Titans got a big win over the Ravens last year in the playoffs. People forget. Who knows who's going to go on a run? 5 teams fighting for 3 spots right now. I mean, it is the AFC playoff is hot going into Week 17. What do you got? Hey, by the way, Connor tackled A.J. Dillon when A.J. Dillon was a 12-year-old and Connor was an 18-year-old. A.J. Dillon tweeted out that he remembers that hit still to this day. He tweeted the game film. And Connor also guessed that Dwayne Haskins was getting cut from the Washington football team. That's why Ian Rappaport had to leave our interview. So Connor is on what we like to call a heater right now, Mike.
Not too shabby. Yeah, Mike, looking at that AFC picture, do you think the Colts are going to get in, or are they going to be on the outside here?
Is Connor wearing a Patriots sweater vest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just in case they need a linebacker tonight.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks.
Awesome. I love it. Well done. Okay, Connor, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they stink. Okay, it's the first time they haven't made the playoffs since 2012. Fucking stink, dude.
There's been a lot of things this year.
Storm, defend their son over there. Yeah, go ahead, Connor. What do we got?
Yeah, Mike, do you think the Colts are going to get in, or are they going to be that team with double-digit wins being outside the playoff picture here?
It feels like it, dude.
I mean, if Buffalo has nothing to play for, do they play their guys?
They shouldn't.
We know one thing: Baltimore's going to win. Can Miami? First of all, Pat, you talk about pissing off fans. You're not allowed to say certain things about certain Drew Brees' arm. Gump, cover your ears. But if you're not allowed to talk bad about Tua, you're just not allowed to talk bad about Tua. You can't do that. Against the law. It's against the law. You'll be arrested. You'll be put in jail, even though he can't throw the ball down the field.
Whoa!
He plays over 25 yards in his. And if they didn't bench him last week, they weren't winning that game. That's fact.
Wow.
Damn.
You need to take it easy. What are you saying? It's Fitzmagic's team.
Well, I think that Tua just doesn't throw the ball down the field. He said, I've been saying it on the show. I've been saying it on Hammer Down. I love Gump. I want him to have a guy, but they're going to have the 5th pick in the draft. Let me ask you this question.
Gumpy.
Who's better, Gardner Minshew as a rookie or Tua as a rookie? And then let me ask you this question. Who's better, Jalen Hurts as a rookie or Tua as a rookie?
Both of those questions.
Jalen Hurts. Tua is better than Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew stinks.
Whoa, jeez.
Look at the numbers.
I know his numbers were decent, but you got Skycam Glennon playing over him.
Well,
Mike.
and by the way, also, they were playing the games they were down a lot. I assume a lot of those yards were potentially whenever they were trying to pick back up or whatever. Maybe. I don't know. That's just me reading from the outside, knocking of the analytics and stats and all of that. But the Tua Fitzmagic thing is interesting because I said this earlier in the show, Mike. That was one of those moments where I wanted to see if Tua was the guy that could do it. Aaron comes out in that situation, Aaron Rodgers, what do you assume is going to happen? Okay, Aaron's going to drive right down the field and he's going to score. Tom Brady, whenever he was with New England, forever, if they're in that situation, he's going to go out, he's going to go right down the field, he's going to score. Patrick Mahomes, in that situation, he's going to go out, he's going to go right down the field and score. Justin Herbert, I think, has proven that if he has to, he'll be able to go down. I think Joe Burrow is a guy, if they can ever figure out how to put a team around him, even though they won a couple games, he'll be able to. I wanted to see if Tua was going to be that guy, but instead he gets pulled. Fitzmagic comes in, and Fitzmagic's like, yep, still fucking here, rip my head off, doesn't matter. That's an interesting. They always say if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks, and I understand winning cures all, but that is not a long-term success thing there.
They said there was no receivers on the field. That's why Tua was struggling, and he threw for 93 yards. But then the quarterback, they didn't change the receivers. There wasn't a hockey shift. I didn't see that. So the receivers stayed the same, and he threw for 180 with the same receivers. Okay, I'm just saying. Look. All I'm saying to everybody is this: I don't have a grudge against Tua. Just grade what you're seeing. Grade what you're seeing. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. He doesn't get away from pressure. And can we add this to it too? The Raiders' defense might be one of the worst defenses.
Oh, wow!
Oh, they were buzzing on Saturday, Mike.
The boys were buzzing.
Oh, they're never buzzing. Gump, you're making excuses. I'm just telling you.
Mike, let's talk about this real quick. There's a mic'd up moment between Fitzmagic and Tua. I don't know if it was this week or last week.
Denver.
Was that last week too?
No, when he got benched in Denver.
So Fitzmagic was basically telling him, like, hey, sometimes whenever you look back and there's 1-2, a guy might look covered, but you got to take that shot. Like, it feels like Tua, much like when Taysom Hill was playing quarterback for the Saints, that 1 week he kind of was able to get over it. But in the NFL, guys look covered. They look like they are covered, but that's open in the NFL because of how great athletes are. It feels like some quarterbacks struggle with the transition of letting it fly, whatever it looks like. So it's like safe, right? It's a safe move. You're not going to turn the ball over, but you're not going to be able to move as much either. I think Taysom Hill had that issue whenever he was quarterback for the Saints. You see him like Pat, he'd look, and then he would run, and then he'd scamper. And then that one week, I think against Philly, he was just kind of letting it fly, and it was like, oh, he's figured out how to be an NFL quarterback. Tua's that same way. I feel like he's so scared to turn the ball over that he doesn't let that thing. Oh, are you breaking news? Is this going to be 2? Are you breaking news right now?
Oh, I think I had another radio show to do, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Is that Tua's problem? You think he's scared to turn the ball over?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's so used to, and I think he just knows he doesn't have a powerful arm. He's afraid to put it in there, and he wants to throw the ball in the middle of the field.
All right.
So do you draft somebody at number 5 if you're the Finns, a quarterback, Mike?
Absolutely draft somebody.
Who do you think there is to take?
That I can't answer yet, but here's what I would do. I would grade the quarterbacks in the draft against what I've seen from Tua.
Oh, man.
Fair enough.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. That's always been a saying. Dolphins figure out a way to win. Mike, we appreciate you. We'll see you at Hammered Down.
Patrick, thanks, guys. I'll talk to you on Hammer Down.
Have a good one, Paisan. See you later. Woo! Yeah, that other show he's supposed to do. That son of a bitch works more than anybody else.
Why?
He hangs up quicker than anybody I've ever seen.
Because he's got shit to do.
Uh-huh.
Tua just not. I mean, he just went in on Tua there. I didn't know he had that feeling against Tua.
No, he's been like that for a while since the start.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
He does hold on to the ball, and that's when he takes sacks. You know what I mean? Everybody can see it.
I think he's scared. You know, because, I mean, you could see how that could potentially be. With Alabama, felt like whenever they're – now, SEC is great athletes, but the defenses aren't that complicated, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way college football is. It's not as complicated because people aren't studying film for 9-10 hours a day, you know, because they have student human obligations before the athlete obligations.
Of course.
And I feel like if you look at a lot of – Tua's dropping the ball in the bucket, but it was normally guys had a little bit of separation. In the NFL, I feel like the big difference, and if you listen to all the ex-quarterbacks talk, myself included, is guys don't – look at my fake at Thanksgiving. That guy had a guy draped on him, okay?
Yep.
You got to throw the ball. You got to let it go. But if you don't want to turn the ball over, because that's the number one rule is don't turn the ball over, because if you lose in turnovers, normally you're going to lose the game. You can see how that's maybe a mental hurdle for some people.
Do you think it's also being thrown into a playoff race too? Like you're not on a shit team to start.
Nah, because I think Tua's always been on good teams, you know.
You can get over that though, right? Can't he? At some like Taysom Hill, you mentioned, he had that game where all of a sudden he was throwing the ball.
But then the next week, he wasn't throwing the ball
right back into it.
You know, and it's almost like gift and a curse. Like that's why Aaron Rodgers is so fucking impressive.
Yeah.
He never turns the ball over, but he takes his shots. Like he is going to take his shot. We got to get to a break.
He also can fit it into that keyhole, like Ty always says. I mean, he had a few balls like that one to Devontae on the sideline
After Malcolm Butler mocked the belt.
Fool.
Can't do that, Malcolm.
No.
Get at.
Got a pick against Aaron. He should be pumped enough. You're going to put that ball on a fucking mantle. This is from Aaron Rodgers,
Yes.
Hall of Famer, GOAT. You're going to be pumped about it. But then you just go ahead and do it down 19 or something like that.
You got to put an asterisk next to that interception now.
And then Aaron jogs into the huddle and goes, Tay, did you see what I saw? Oh, yeah. Let's go. That whole drive was just dink, 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 right down Malcolm Butler.
Threw the ball to Devontae with not even a route, just right to him on the line of scrimmage. See ya.
It was like what happens whenever those veteran quarterbacks see like a rookie corner come in. It was like, all right, there it is. We're going right there. I'll be excited to talk to Aaron, and I'm sure Aaron will say, no, it was just a couple plays that we saw. But it sure felt like after that belt thing, it was, all right, we're drawing up plays for one particular side of the ball.
Let's go get him.
Hey, was that funny? Did you have a good time there? All right. Green 19. Hiya, Tud. See you later. And he was wide open on that Tud, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a
stop. See you later, Malcolm.
I love that he did it, by the way. Malcolm, I love that you did it. I just want to let you know. I probably would have done the same damn thing. I'm stupid. I'm a fool. I win these Oculus boxing matches. I'm celebrating in my fucking living room, okay? I understand. I would have done it. But, boy, that guy on the other side, he also.
He's got eyes.
That's funny.
He's wearing a belt, he thinks?
Is he right over there? You know, the Fleur thought about resting us for the rest of this game, but I think we got one more series, don't we?
You know what?
We got one. I think we can go one more time. Let's get to a break. 38 minutes into hour 2 here. On the other side, we'll overreact with Twitter.
Let's go.
Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact, but is on the other side, plus some phone calls wrapping up hour 2. In the third hour, we'll have the Juice Kyle Juszczyk, fullback for the 49ers. I assume he made a Pro Bowl again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pro Bowler again. It's hilarious. That's good when your name is just immediately followed by, I assume he made a full Pro Bowl again? Yes, he did. Congrats to him. Can't wait to chat with him. Niners get a big win over the Cardinals. Are the Cardinals dead forever? I don't know. That's a tough squad to judge over there. I bet on them early and lost some money, and I've been off them for some time now.
Yeah.
As soon as we heard Kittle was back, knew that was probably going to be a problem. We're back on the other side. It's Pat McAfee Show Overreaction Monday, December 28th. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you.
Sure.
Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. By the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Well, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
Did you rob a bank?
Oh, man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you.
Oh,
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money.
You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office. And we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to that show that the lady just referred to in a voice on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough. No. but you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down no more. It's time to upgrade to NetSuite.
Ooh.
Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need all in one place instantaneously. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 22,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/Pat. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/Pat. That's netsuite.com/PAT. Shout out to NetSuite. Also, shout out to you guys. The 4 Arby's Bricks owners will be announced tomorrow.
Whoa.
The PS5 winners will be announced Wednesday.
What?
Yeah, we're giving away a lot of things. And then we're off Thursday, Friday.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like, that we're getting into a little bit of a trend here of these Thursday, Fridays, off days or whatever. But back-to-back holidays happening on the perfect days, basically, for a long weekend. We might come on Thursday. We might. I don't know.
Why not?
It's New Year's Eve. Really, there's nothing. It's fucking New Year's Eve. Who cares?
It's just another night.
Noon to 3, New Year's Eve. New Year's Day now, I've realized since becoming a little bit more of an adult, it is a much bigger holiday than I ever imagined. Like, they shut down shit on New Year's Day.
Oh, yeah, nothing's open.
Especially with 2021 coming.
Oh.
So maybe we'll be on Thursday.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to tell a lot of people that we're going to be on Thursday. I mean, over at Sirius, they got people scheduled to replace us and all this other shit.
well.
So we're on Thursday, we're off Friday. Did we just decide that?
Beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, the 4-day weekend was nice, but
It was fucking awesome.
It felt like 2 weeks.
It did. It felt like it was
Almost
like 3-4
too long.
weeks. Yeah. By Sunday, I forgot. I was like, this has got to be over soon. And turned out it was.
Yeah.
So if we did that again, maybe we catch some habits of not wanting to come in as much. So Thursday we'll be on, Friday we'll be off. All right, we just made that decision. Dwayne Haskins has released a statement about his release at DH_Simba7. My time with the Washington football team has unfortunately come to an end. I thank the team and fans for the opportunity to play for the team I grew up rooting for. I take full responsibility for not meeting the standards of an NFL quarterback and will become a better man and player because of this experience. Okay, Dwayne.
Come on, Dwayne.
Obviously, we're not happy that Dwayne Haskins got released from the Washington football team. This is a sad story. The guy had an incredible amount of talent. Something was going on behind the scenes that we don't know about unless we were there. Obviously, it's not great for a man in his second year after being a first-round draft pick to get released after Week 16, a day after he started a game, while a team is still in contention for the playoffs. So hopefully he'll be able to figure it out. That seems like he's potentially on the right path. Ladies and gentlemen, every Monday we have a segment here, and today we became the #2 trend in the United States. Thanks to everybody that follows along and listens and watches this show. Hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but it's time right now. Let's do it.
I don't want to overreact, but...
A lot of entries today. People were entering yesterday in the middle of games. We appreciate you. Let's get right to them. Foxy, shall we? This is from the rapper Sid. Shout out to Sid. Hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but the Cowboys seem to be able to sneak through the back door into the playoffs. Will they win it all? Question mark. Great question. Andy Dalton was slinging the rock. We forgot about all the weapons that they have on offense because, to be honest, they've kind of been absentee for a while. Yesterday, they all got hot. They were scoring. Dalton was slinging it like the red rocket that he is. I'll be excited to see, because if the Washington football team loses and the Dallas Cowboys win, the Dallas Cowboys will host a home playoff game. And then once you get into the dance, it doesn't matter how you get there. If you do-si-do good, fucking keep it moving. Mike McCarthy might win comeback coach of the year within the same year. Remember, week 6, the entire locker room was talking about how bad the coaching staff was. Now here we are going into week 17 with them having a chance to make it into the playoffs. Now, they don't control it outright. They need somebody else to do something, but it's a lot easier to get in for the Cowboys than any of us could have expected about week 7, week 8 into this NFL season.
And McCarthy figured it out. I mean, if he wants the boys to come out flying, all he's got to do is grab a couple sledgehammers, a few watermelons, and bash the hell out of those things, and the boys start scoring.
It turns out, by the way, the boys got a chance to grab a sledgehammer and bash some watermelons. Watermelons didn't just have water inside of them, by the way. If you do recall, last time this happened, Mike McCarthy talked to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones said the one funny anecdote from Mike McCarthy was Mike McCarthy didn't realize how much water was in watermelons. Instead, this time, Mike McCarthy had some of the boys smash watermelons watermelons like Gallagher, and he put candy inside of them like one of them pinatas.
Whoa.
That's right. Dallas Cowboys had watermelon pinatas in their team meeting the night before. They went out and get a big win. They're now 2-0 whenever they're bashing watermelons before the game.
Something to think about.
Are the Dallas Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl?
Whoa. I mean,
AJ Hawk called it.
He said it.
Let's get to another one, Foxy. This is from Dane Hanson02. Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact, but someone needs to make a statue for that no-look face mask pass from Ryan Fitzmagic. Amen. If the Dolphins go on to win any games here, I assume that would happen. What a fucking moment there. Shout out to Dane for entering. What's the next one, Foxy? This is from @JRami15, Jordan Ramirez. Alvin Kamara could be the best running back of all time. I mean, obviously, you can't title somebody the best running back of all time while they're playing. But if he keeps going, by the time he's done, there's going to be real conversation about what Kamara. Should have had 7 touchdowns yesterday, only got 6. Should have been in the MVP conversation. Michael Lombardi's been drumming that. He's a weapon. He got paid this year, too. He'll probably get paid again. His balance is unusual. His explosive abilities are just next level. And his vision and calm is just something I don't think you can teach. Kamara's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Route running and catching, too. I mean, obviously, like you said, you can't say, well, he's still playing. But as far as complete running back goes, I mean, there's really no one better.
And I think he was a punt returner at one point, right? Wasn't he a returner at some point, too?
When he first came in, I'm pretty sure
I assume he could be if he wanted to. He's unbelievable to watch. Fun to watch. And his celebration of the 5 thing is a great gif. That's going to be used a lot. The 6 one, obviously, tough to count because you only got 5 fingers on one hand. Should have had 7, though. Taysom Hill stole one from him. Was it Sean Payton or was it Alvin Kamara? Was it Taysom Hill? Neither here nor there. What's the next one, Foxy? Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact, but says Benny Butts at Benji Taylor 1. NXT did the right thing to can you on Xmas. They're tired of cleaning spray tan off the canvas. Get some sun.
Dude. Take it easy, Benny.
Hey, Benny Butts. Get off my ass, dude. And I try to get some sun. But Indiana doesn't have any for like 5-6 months. What do you want from me?
This guy doesn't know.
Yeah, and I'm super Caucasian. I become red easily. I have a tanning bed in my house, but I got 3rd-degree burns from the first time I laid on him. My entire body looked like a goddamn zebra for 6 months. I can't use it. So I use a spray tan.
It's not your fault.
My first match, NXT TakeOver 30 against Adam Cole, where I made some rookie mistakes where I should have been an undefeated wrestler after that match. I made a couple. Maybe I got too dark of a spray tan, okay? I didn't go to my spray tan machine. I went to another one down in Florida. And maybe that one was cooked a little bit too much. And maybe when I was sweating, it was falling off my nose onto the canvas. Maybe everything that guy is saying is close to accurate, but that doesn't mean I should have to read on the internet all day Christmas that NXT has just written me off of television for the rest of my life.
Come on.
Hey, fuck you, Benny Butts. All right, what's the next one, Foxy? Chris Syke at Sea-Dog is real. We'll be the judge of that, Sea-Dog. Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact, but 1, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in football, okay? 2, the Packers running back room is the best in football, okay? Colts would argue with that. I think the Colts with Naeem Hines, Jonathan Taylor, Wilkins, I believe, is in there. They have a great running back core. There's a bunch of stables, and the Buccaneers have a stable back there as well. Saints. Alvin Kamara. He's really good.
Yeah, Taysom Hill you could probably throw in there too.
Those are really good. So there's definitely up there. But, I mean, with A.J. Dillon, a man who once got tackled by Connor Campbell, with his comeback story, maybe that's a Rudy-like story. If you get tackled by that guy and then you have that night on primetime football, that is a motivational story for sure. But I like that. Devontae is the best wide receiver in football. I think that's a conversation that's happening currently. Aaron Rodgers once said that Charles Woodson was the best football player he's ever seen or played with. And he said it's about time Devontae Adams starts sneaking into that conversation alongside him. Massive praise for Devontae. The Packers are going to the Super Bowl. Also, the Foxy curse is broke.
Whoa!
Okay, a lot of people we have not talked about this yet. Foxy experienced his first win as a diehard Steelers fan.
Let's go. Woo! Yeah, that curse never existed, Pat. I will say, though.
You stopped watching the game at halftime, and the Steelers played football in the second half.
Just a coincidence, all right? I had to leave. I watched that first half, and I'm like, this is the same old stinky Steelers. I can't take it anymore. And then I did leave from Michigan to come back to Indianapolis. They just so happened to come back. But, I think I'm done being a Steelers fan.
What?
Whoa! I'm pretty sure I'm done being a Steelers fan.
Why?
Get the hell out.
I didn't get any thank yous for potentially motivating the team to a win this last game.
Wow.
I also didn't get any thank yous for not giving up on the team because that team stunk when I was watching.
Yeah, they did.
And also, I haven't got any thank yous for talking about the Steelers on a worldwide show like this one.
No,
so,
regional,
you know what I mean?
dude.
I'm just done with all the Steelers fans. They didn't welcome me with open arms.
There was actually a block party yesterday, was there not?
And bingo, they all blocked me on Twitter because of @Tone Diggs. So I just didn't like how they treated me. They're supposed to be the best fans in sports. Done with that team.
That's big news, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
Huge.
done. It's
You
over.
decided to leave them once they learned how to play football again. Aggressive decision by the guy who's been a fan of the Lions his whole life. Feels like that is potentially your fault, nobody else's, because the Steelers could get hot again. But I sent Foxy a couple tweets from the hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, and he said, I can't read that because the guy blocked me. And I was like, why is everybody blocked you? All of Pittsburgh had a block party on Evan Foxy last night. Nobody knows he exists on Twitter anymore in Pittsburgh.
Diggs said he still blocks me. Until the Steelers lose in the playoffs, I will be blocked forever, so I won't be able to see Tone's tweets.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, it felt good to get that skinny stooge monkey off the team's back.
Yeah,
he
you're
was
talking about this
obviously
guy.
dragging everybody down.
This is the
come
problem.
on, dude.
How about a thank you, Nick? How about City of Pittsburgh? Thank me, otherwise you probably don't win that game yesterday.
Okay.
Can we get one last here we go, Foxy, for old time's sake?
Here we go. Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Attaboy, Foxy.
Thank you.
What's the next one here? Hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but the Baltimore Ravens are super hot and Lamar Jackson might get a few playoff wins the way they are playing. That's from Awkward Esteban, Awkward D. Esteban. You're not awkward, pal. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Remember that. It doesn't matter what happens. If you make it awkward, it is awkward. If you act like nothing happened, that's how everybody else is going to have to act. Now, once you get put in your place and say that you should be uncomfortable, then it's time to leave, all right? That's just how you do. You get the hell out of there and say, you're right, this should be awkward, but I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going to get out of here. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. That was the lesson taught to me by an old bull one day, and it's something I would never, ever, ever forget. And by the way, the situation we were in should have been very awkward, but he and I just acted like it wasn't awkward, and it wasn't at all. Now, was everybody else talking about how awkward it was that we were there? Probably, but did we care? Nope, because we made it unawkward. So D. Esteban, maybe something to think about. With the Baltimore Ravens, they do look like the team that they were last year, and maybe they're heating up at the right time. That was a team, if you remember, not too long ago, they weren't allowed to be around each other for like 2-3 weeks because old 19 got in the locker room and run rampant on the boys. Then the Tennessee Titans threatened to fight them, and only Harbaugh went out there to fight. Now the team seems to like each other again. They seem to be having a good time. Lamar Jackson's moving and grooving. The Giants stink for sure, but the Ravens were in control of that game the entire time, just like they were against the Browns when they came back and won that game. I mean, I'm pumped about the Ravens.
Yeah.
They're a fun team to watch.
Do wonder if it's going to get awkward when they don't want to pay Lamar Jackson.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Remember that.
Lamar Jackson in the playoffs as well.
Not great, but you can always turn that right around, just like the Foxy curse. Hour 2's wrapping up. On the other side, we'll have Kyle Juszczyk, Pro Bowler from the Niners. Can't thank you enough for listening and watching. This is the Pat McAfee Show on SiriusXM.
Lakers, welcome to the Blender, the home of a team and a fan base on a playoff push the likes the world has never seen before. Crescent City, get on your feet for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Sprite, an incredibly refreshing drink. Starting at forward was the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. Now he's an NBA All-Star, Brandon Ingram. At forward, this man has been dunking on little white kids on the internet for 10 years. The incomparable, unstoppable 6'6" phenom, Zion Williamson. At center, standing at 8 feet tall, from Georgia Tech, number 22, Derek Favors. This man's family at a reality show in Lithuania. He was born and raised in LA, but he found his J in the N-O. Lonzo Ball! And the OG of the roster. On the court, he's a monster. Braids hanging, shots banging. It's not Drew, it's Drew Holiday. Let's get this done. Thank you very much. Go Pelicans. Tired of me right now. That's how you play basketball. Will be a five-bowler from the Red Panda. Up we go. Yes! 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 Red Panda! What a legendary moment. You're a legend. It's an honor. Mission accomplished, right? Come down, intro some players, throw some bowls to Red Panda, fly back to Indianapolis. Success story, Foxy. What a fucking night.
Patriots, minus 11. Hammer that thing as hard as you possibly can. I am a guy that moves lines with this bad boy. You know, me and this guy here, this hammer, we've been making money together for a long time. Super, baby. You whip out your hammer and you swing it not only like a windmill dunk, like a son of a bitch, but you swing that thing to try to break the button on the FanDuel thing, and you hammer the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It finally made its debut on ESPN, and I'm proud of this fucking office store hammer.
Hell yeah.
I like them all over Baylor. Going hammer Okie State #1. Hammer the Red Wolves plus 5.5, minus 14.5, and hammer minus 34.5 for. Oh!
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Overreaction Monday, December 28th, 2020. Hour 3. We're going to be joined by a Pro Bowler. Begins right now. Thanks to that beat drop by Twine. A lot of things going on in the NFL world. A lot. And to join us is a man who's had a lot of success. This past Saturday, he had 2 tuds, receiving touchdowns, for the Niners against the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know where he's calling us from right now, if he's in Arizona, if he's in Santa Clara. They got the Seahawks at home this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Bowler, the Juice, Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah!
What's going on, dude?
Pat, what's going on, man? I'm coming from my Airbnb in Arizona.
Okay, so you're still in Arizona right now. How is your family with you? Was it just players? How was this all thing worked out? I'm happy we can just jump right into this because this seems like a very huge obstacle that your team has had to go through here.
Yeah, definitely a weird and unique one that we've had to deal with. But I'm lucky enough. My wife and my dog came out here, and we got an Airbnb close to our hotel. So have a little bit of normalcy. At least have a house to come back to after practice and whatnot. But a lot of guys, a good majority are still just in the hotel.
Okay.
And I feel for them.
Okay, so you guys got that heads up. It was like a Thursday almost, I feel like maybe a Friday or something.
No, it was literally the Saturday we were flying to LA. We got on the plane and we saw on Twitter that Santa Clara wasn't going to let us practice or play in our facility. And so right after we got done playing the Rams, we had to go home, pack up our stuff, and I think we were out by Tuesday. It's pretty wild.
And so did you guys just have a locker room at, it used to be University of Phoenix. What is it now? Allegiant, maybe? I don't know what the stadium is over there in Arizona. But did you guys have your own locker room? You were able to train at the facility. How did that whole thing play out? Because I was so intrigued by the fact of the quick turnaround, like how quickly Arizona was like, come on in, and then how there was going to be enough space to keep you guys and the Cardinals separate. Did you guys see each other? How did it work?
Yeah, no, so we're staying at the Renaissance Hotel right next to their stadium, and our locker room, our weight room, our training room, our meeting rooms, all that is in the hotel. So, we don't really have to worry about the meeting rooms because we do everything virtually. So you just, you meet from either at your Airbnb or at your room in the hotel. But we just do everything right at the hotel, and then we take golf carts, literally a 3-minute ride down the street, and we have a practice field that we've been doing all our practices on.
You guys just golf carting around like every old white that retires and goes out to Phoenix.
Oh yeah, as soon as practice ends, it's a mad dash to who can drive the golf carts or the ATVs that we have back to the hotel.
Has it been better or worse than you thought it was going to be when you immediately were told that for 3 weeks you're going to have to go live somewhere else?
Generally it's been better. It's not ideal for sure, but it really hasn't been, too bad. I do feel for the guys, like I said, that are stuck in the hotel with no family, who had to celebrate Christmas all by themselves. That's a tough pill to swallow, and that definitely hurts. But as far as the day-to-day and the football operations, they've been pretty good. It hasn't, really fallen off too much from what we were doing in San Jose.
Hey, you know what? You guys get to play in the NFL, okay? If you celebrate Christmas alone in a little square, you are lucky to do that. Remember, you are not a human. You are an NFL player. Let's talk about this game on Saturday. C.J. Beathard, we obviously saw him go out and throw the deep ball last week that brought you guys within 7 or whatever, and then he gets to play this week. And the emotional, obviously, post-game a little bit with his brother and everything like that. Just how was the team? George Kittle comes back. What was the mindset going in there? Because a lot of people are like, why is George Kittle playing? And Kittle was basically like, what are we even talking about here? It feels like you guys still have a great culture, even though this year isn't everything that you obviously hoped it would be.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've had this whole time that we've, kind of started this group in San Francisco 4 years ago. Is we've just had such a great locker room, such a great culture. Everybody genuinely cares for one another, and we go out there and fight for each other. And like you said, there is absolutely no way that you're going to keep Kittle off the field. If he's healthy, he's going to go out there and play and do everything he can. But definitely so happy for C.J. Beathard. I think the guy has deserved so much more than what he's gotten in his time here. I think he's extremely talented. He's a great leader. People just gravitate to him. He has a great energy to him. And he played a really solid game this past Saturday. He was able to, go in there finally with his first week of preparation as the starter and just run an efficient offense. I think he threw 3 tuds. we went out there, we dominated on the run game, so it's not like we had to, lean on the passing game too much. But there's a lot to be said of running a Kyle Shanahan offense. It is not as easy as one. Well, I don't know if anyone thinks it's easy, but it's not as easy as one might think. With just the amount of decisions the quarterback has to make at the line of scrimmage, the ball handling, and just getting in and out of the huddle. There's so much on that guy's plate. And I think CJ just handled it great.
Yeah, everybody talks about, obviously, the young coaches. When McVay got hired at the Rams and had success, everybody was looking for the next McVay. Like, okay, if you hung around McVay, you get a chance to get a head coaching job in the NFL because he had success. So if you sat at the same table as him, that means you're going to have success. That was kind of the hiring process that happened. And nobody ever talks about the other young coach that's in California. Well, currently in Arizona, I guess, because you guys got kicked out of California. But Shanahan just feels like he's like this young little whiz. Like, it feels like he's a wizard in the way the run game is set up. And I don't know if that goes back to his dad and TD and the Mile High Salute days and everything like that, and how much it's evolved since then. But the fullback, your position, is a vital position in that entire offense. Do you and Shanahan obviously have a great relationship? And what is it like to play for Kyle Shanahan? And why does he never get talked about in those conferences? Now, granted, this year you guys are out of the playoff picture, so it's not going to happen. But I feel like Shanahan never really got that young pop of a coach that maybe McVay got. LaFleur is not getting as much as he should, but Shanahan never got it, I don't think.
Yeah, I do have a phenomenal relationship with Kyle. It's been so great to play for him the past 4 years. I can't imagine playing for a better head coach. I mean, he just does such a great job of relating to players, but also just being a very good leader and putting together, such a unique offense and such a creative offense. I think maybe the reason he didn't get as much hype as McVay is McVay inherited a very good roster. He came in and right away, I think it was year 2, they were in the Super Bowl. And so, it took an extra year for Kyle. It took 3 years for him to get there. But I think McVay just had that very early on success. And, he's in L.A. He has exciting players. He had Todd Gurley and Jared Goff and Cooper Kupp. All those guys are exciting guys to watch. So I think it was easy to gravitate to them. Whereas, Kyle took a little bit longer to get things going. I still think 3 years and to turn a franchise completely around from ground zero to Super Bowl is still very impressive, and I do think he deserves a little bit more credit and recognition around the league. But I think that's going to come with time, and I think he's just going to continue to have success every year, and people are going to get back on the Shanahan train.
It's awesome to see how you guys put a plan together. Like, for instance, last year in the playoffs, 8 pass attempts or something like that, which it was almost like it was 1920s football again. It was very, and if it works, by the way, it's not like Shanahan's going to get greedy or egotistical and be like, well, I got to do this, I got to do this. If it works, he's like, let's just hammer this. Let's go ahead and do this, which is a awesome mentality to have as a coach, to kind of put your ego aside and be able to do all that shit. He's also kept the fullback position alive very much. How much pride do you have in being a fullback out there? I mean, there's only a few of you guys out there that are still holding it down. It's a cyclical league, so there'll be more that'll come around on the other side of this whole thing. But in your eyes, being a fullback, what does it mean?
Oh my gosh, huge amount of pride to be one of the the few fullbacks that are out there and getting significant playing time. Whenever people love to throw out there's only 3 or 4 teams that use a fullback. No, it's not quite that. There's still 21 teams that have fullbacks, and there are more teams that use guys in that position. They're just not labeled a fullback. But like I said, tremendous pride to be out there and be one of the guys that consistently can contribute to our offense. And that was really one of the biggest reasons I came to San Francisco, is I saw an opportunity with Kyle. I saw what he was doing in Atlanta with his fullback, and I felt like we could expand on it even more with my skill set. So I've been, tremendously blessed to be in an offense that really uses me and lets me, display my skill set out there. It's been awesome.
Are you going for the kill just every time? Like, what do you went to Harvard, you got a big brain, so you probably can't just Cobra strike like Kevin Green. What's the mindset whenever you're coming? Are you just trying to kill somebody? AJ Hawk told us. He usually joins us. He's with his family this week or whatever. But he said he hated Oklahoma drills, okay? But his mindset was, I hate these things, but if my only means of survival is to kill everybody in this, I'm going to have to kill everybody. Like, that's just going to have to be what it is. As a fullback, that's a lot of collisions. There's a lot of collisions happening. There's a lot of high-speed collisions happening. What is your mindset? Are you a leverage guy? Like, I got to out-leverage this person? Or are you trying to potentially put yourself into a concussed state every single time?
You know what? I feel like I disappoint people with this question all the time because I am one of the more recognizable fullbacks. People want to hear about the guy who has the neck collar.
Yeah.
Head into the wall.
Yeah.
He comes out with his forehead bleeding.
And,
You know, all that kind of stuff. But I hate to let you down. That's really just that's not my style.
End the show.
There are times where you can't avoid it. Are you getting ready to do? You ready to show me something?
No, I was going to say end the show because you said that, but you were going to give a great answer, so I wanted to stop interrupting you because I was about to hear a great answer and I kind of fucked it up. That's on me. But you said there are times let's just act like what I did was nothing there. Just go ahead and do your thing.
But no, I'm definitely my mentality is to use my leverage, to use my speed to set up. A lot of times I'm attacking a guy on the edge, and he's got to be able to defend a flat route, and he's got to be able to defend me cutting him out or kicking him out on a power. So I try to use leverage and angles to my advantage, and less so of just smacking my head into somebody.
That's a shame. I mean, it's smart, obviously, but I was just hoping that your answer would be like, yeah, I don't think. I just run and bury my head in it. What was your major at Harvard?
Economics.
Ooh. Oh, you paying attention to anything? What do we got? We got money in Bitcoin? You doing what do we?
No, that's the thing though. If I hadn't played football, I would have been in trouble. I can't tell you the first thing about economics.
What are some hobbies? You got a dog, obviously. That takes up a lot of time. You and your lady. What are some hobbies for you?
Love playing cards. Big on the garden. Got a greenhouse back home. Always got the garden going. So try to eat well. My wife and I do a lot of home cooking.
Oh, food.
So that takes up a lot of our time.
I thought you were growing marijuana out there.
No, not that kind of garden.
Okay, well, maybe whenever you retire, you'll maybe potentially, maybe making an economic decision as well. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, Kyle, between yourself and Ryan Fitzmagic, it was a pretty massive weekend for Harvard alumni. Do you think it's time to start considering Harvard as a pipeline for NFL players?
Superstar.
I think there's no question. I'm pretty sure we lead all FCS schools in active NFL players right now. I think there's 7 or 8 of us right now. It's a good amount, and we don't get enough love for it. I feel like about one every year we're putting into the league.
Wow.
Well, not this year because the Ivy League said we're not playing football. They said that first.
That makes it tougher.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to get a guy.
Hey, and you'll appreciate this. You're a special team guy. We got 2 Harvard Pro Bowlers this year. We got our long snapper Tyler Ott played tight end with me.
I didn't know that.
Let's go.
I didn't know that. Let's go,
man.
Tyler.
Harvard.
Yeah.
Was it pass fail? Did you get grades?
There were pass-fail options. You could do one a semester, but it was mostly grades.
Did you do really? I don't know how you would have done it. I went to 0 classes, and I was at West Virginia, which is the Harvard of West Virginia by all means.
That's right.
It is. I was just basically communication studies. I don't know how anybody with the schedule of football, especially in a position that you have to be pretty yoked, so you had to worry about your fitness and what you were eating and everything. I don't know how you put it all into one day, dude. I don't know how you did it.
I'm not going to say it was easy, but time management was definitely your number one skill. You had to figure out how to fit everything into a day.
I snoozed my way through a lot of classes.
Hey, it worked out.
I mean, not really, but here we are. Kyle, safe travels. Were you playing in Arizona again this week?
Yeah, we're here in Arizona against Seattle.
And then do you have a house in Santa Clara, like off season, or do you have somewhere else? Will some guys not even go back to Santa Clara ever until next year?
I'm sure some people just go straight home. But I've got a house in Santa Clara, and then my off-season house is in New York. So we're going to pack up our stuff in Santa Clara and then head out to New York for the off-season.
City or upstate?
Long Island.
Oh, Long Island.
Ooh, the island.
Hey, Long Island's not a bad place. How, man, sir? Isn't that where you're from, Aaron?
Great place, man. Lovely little town called Huntington.
Is it locked down right now, though?
It's not as open as it should be.
No. Well, we don't know anything about that, but I feel like Santa Clara and New York are the 2 most right? Aren't those locked down?
The coast.
I gotta tell you.
And the 2 highest taxed places in the country too. So I picked some great places to settle down.
Yeah, as a Harvard economics guy, why don't you have a house in Delaware or whatever? Like,
I know, I messed up, right?
Well, you said you're not really paying attention to the economics thing.
That's true.
You openly said it. Hey, good luck this Sunday. Hope you have a great game. Enjoy the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's not even happening, I guess. What are you guys doing? Just hanging
Virtual
out?
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Madden.
What are you doing? You're playing Madden? Are you good at Madden?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure if the players are playing in the game or if they're just doing a simulated, Pro Bowl roster. So I'm not totally sure yet.
How would you fare if you had to play?
You know what? 8 years ago, I'm taking the championship, no doubt. But since I joined the league and got married, I haven't been playing too much Madden recently.
You need to get on Oculus, okay? Listen,
I just saw you posted something on your Twitter. My father-in-law got one, and I got some hilarious videos of it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to start streaming, I think, of me playing because it's not even like I'm talking shit to these fake things that are existing. It is so realistic in there, Kyle. I've never been a video game player in my life, but I very much understand how people can get addicted to it with this Oculus. It's Ready Player One. You're in there. You're just fucking living. What's that?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm playing ping pong, okay? And you're playing, first of all, in this like little lounge area, and you got your own table or whatever, and you have to throw the ball up, has to fall 6 inches, like the real rules. And whenever you hit it, it feels like you're hitting it. It's even a little vibrate in your hand, and then you can put spin on it, and then you look out to the left in your windows at the lounge that you're in, your place. The fucking Alps, dude. You're just hanging out in the Alps.
No.
Yeah, so I'm playing ping pong against this character that I created who's really good, unbelievably good. And I'm just playing. And then I look at the Alps over there, and then I go out, and all of a sudden I'm in a resort in like Mexico all of a sudden. Then I'm boxing in an arena against a knockout artist from Bangkok all of a sudden. I mean, it's Ready Player One, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got to get one.
It's going to be hard. I think they're sold out till January.
Yep.
Sold out till January.
Hot topic.
Especially after that campaign you just gave.
That's how I know they're sold out till January, by the way. The DMs I've been getting from a lot of my former teammates, they're like, is this thing real? What is this? I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking fighting dudes every morning. They're like, we got to get in, and it's been sold out. But Kyle, have an incredible offseason. Enjoy that Pro Bowl. We appreciate your time, man. I hope you come back on the show whenever.
Yeah, man, I'd love to be back on again. So I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, next time you come on, though, let's get some economics information.
Come on.
We don't have a lot of Harvard friends that are in the economics world, so we would like you to potentially bring that into the thing.
Please.
But if you're not comfortable
home with homework right now, come on, man.
You're right. Hey, whatever you want to do next time, but we will ask again. Just know that question is coming.
All right, I'll be ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Bowler Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, Kyle!
Thank you, Kyle. Man, that Oculus, though, I don't know how people got to live in there.
Oh, yeah.
I could see how you do it.
Second life. Oh, yeah. It's a big thing.
Listen, my family got me some great gifts. I'm very thankful for them. My brother, his fiance got me great gifts. A couple of the boys, Foxy got me an incredible photo. Nick got me an incredible photo. Gumpy, Luke, boys got me gifts. Nice. I appreciate it. But my wife, she loaded. I got these shoes. These shoes are super nice. She hooked it up, right? And then the last one was the Oculus. And I completely forgot that thing even existed. And she was like, here's the last one. I open it. I put it on. 2 hours later, I'm fucking still in there, right? I'm just in my living room. And
sweating bullets.
Fucking celebrating. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, hey, I got to fucking knock this guy out. It's it is awesome.
When we were talking before, it's not so long till NFL teams are using it for practice and stuff, catching footballs.
Would have been perfect for this season, by the way.
Yeah.
Would have been absolutely perfect for this season because I think you could even run a route with your hands. Now, they need to create the goddamn treadmill like Ready Player One has.
Hold you in place.
Yeah, that kind of gets you going around there. But boy, I could see how people get trapped in those games.
It's the future.
We got to get to a break. All right, 21 minutes into hour 3 here. Phone calls to close out the show.
Come on.
Bring it, by the way, if you call.
Please.
It's Overreaction Monday, okay? So what are we doing? We're overreacting.
Uh-huh.
But we're doing it quickly. We're not him-hawing around.
To the point.
Let's overreact. Or just, give a statement of fact or whatever you want to do. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. The lines are full. But when we hang up on somebody, get your ass in there. We're wrapping up this show with our phone calls, and I assume much dumber chat than Chris. Is Mad Dog Unleashed on today? Do we know?
I think he's supposed to be on.
His show will be better than ours afterwards. We promise.
Oh, yeah.
But the last 30 minutes of this show, it is going to be phone call electricity from beginning till end. Let's wrap it up on the other side. That's the Pat McAfee Show. Overreaction Monday, December 28th. Let's test out this Sharon! Sharon! Proper footy. Seems like it has a bigger sweet spot. That's the greatest sport on earth right there. Aussie rules football, also known as footy, AFL. My first time bombing in official shorts that are a little bit restricting. I think I lost a ball, to be honest. Might be a Lance Armstrong situation down here, but I can see why this sport is beloved, because those balls fly. Need to get down to Australia, meet up with the Magpie boys, and finish out this AFL season as maybe its biggest fan in America. Let's have it. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't even know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Dance with me. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Welcome back. Ooh. A little slow entrance.
Nice.
Actually, I had to turn up my headset to hear if it was on or not.
Mellow Monday here.
This song's called Disco.
Oh.
Oh, see, it's kind of like you're walking into the room, and then the disco starts. You see the little light thingy.
Nice room.
There's a disco under my bed. Do you remember that song? What was that? Fireflies. What was that song?
Oh,
Disco ball dancing.
Owl City.
Owl City.
Oh, my
Fireflies
God.
by Owl City.
Yeah, there it is.
Fireflies.
That's my ringtone at one point.
Oh, jeez. Steelers fan right there.
You know, it was welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, by the way. Sorry, that was a late night special band with disco. Heard the word disco. Thought of another time where I heard disco. It was the Fireflies by Owl City, which Evan Fox being your ringtone is no surprise at all, by the way. I might have used it one time because it was pretty upbeat. You know, made you feel good, you know.
I'd like to make myself
Self-believe.
That's how it goes.
That planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake than I'm asleep. 'Cause everything is never what it seems when I fall asleep. Yeah.
That was a good one. That song played for a while.
That was a banger there for a while. You know what? I had for a long time, Pocket Full of Sunshine is my ringtone.
Oh, I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Turns out that's about cocaine, yeah. Did
Really?
not know that, yeah. Pocket Full of Sunshine is just, I got cocaine in my pocket.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Yeah, I did not know that. I was just like, I was like fucking vibing until
Got a good mood in my pocket.
we took a trip to Ocean City, New Jersey, which is where I believe Michael Lombardi lives. And I got hot on the blackjack table. This is when I was in college. Then we were supposed to go to a club, but I had like J's on or something like that, and they wouldn't let me in. I had to change my shoes, they said.
Really?
Yeah, it was a real, I don't think they wanted me in there, but I had just won so much money. I went to the store next door and I bought Bruno Mauli's, which is the shoes that O.J. Simpson was wearing whenever the murder happened. And in court, he actually said, I wouldn't have done it because I wouldn't have went in the mud with my Bruno Mauli's. That was the story that the shoe salesman told me at 1:30 a.m. for me to buy the shoes. And the shoes, by the way, came in their own bags. Each one came in their own bag. I put those on and I put my other shoes in a bag in the store for pickup tomorrow. I walked back in there, pointed at the Bruno Mauli's, recited the O.J. Simpson story. Guy lets me right into the bar there, have a good time. We go out 3, 4 a.m. We had to leave the next day to go back to Morgantown, West Virginia, because we had a workout maybe in the afternoon or whatever. Pocket Full of Sunshine's going off 6 a.m. with like 7 of us in the room, you know, because we paid for one room. And I hit snooze on it. We heard that song probably 10 times that morning. One of my roommates took my phone and I threw it off the wall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had to change Pocket Full of Sunshine, yeah. So lost the phone and that alarm clock all in one brisk morning in Ocean City, New Jersey.
The phone did break.
Yeah, oh yeah. Fucker was done. I mean, by the way, completely warranted. I mean, I could have turned it off. I decided to hit snooze button. It just continued going and going. And then it was like one of those movie scenes where my one friend walked over people, grabbed it, and was like, ah, and threw it. And I was like, all right, we're up, man, right? We're up now? My phone's broke. Had to get replaced. But yeah, Pocket Full of Sunshine had a bad morning. I would assume the Fireflies by Owl City would have got the same reaction.
Yeah, it always did.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Let's go to the phone call, shall we? What were you going to say?
I was just going to say ringtones had a good run. I don't think they're really a thing anymore.
How about the callback, the playbacks? Whenever you would call and they play a song in there?
I never got into that one.
Me neither, but the olds loved it.
Yeah, a lot of them just turned into the Beethoven Symphony, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. Once you like stop paying for it, it just automatically goes there.
I go to some of these conference calls and they have like a you're on hold, like a song that is about basically you're on hold. And I'm like, man, this was so clever. But everybody uses the same song. So you're at the point where it's like, I hate this song. I know I'm on hold. And the motherfucker that set this meeting should have been here 5 minutes ago when this thing was supposed to start. Now I got to listen to this guy who sounds nothing like Scott Stapp, who's trying to sound like Scott Stapp, telling me that I'm on fucking hold. I know I'm on hold. I'm pausing my life for this son of a bitch that's late for the goddamn meeting.
Elevators should think about that. Like, you're on the Vader.
Think about this. This could fall quick if it was to get loose. Woo! That's all I think of when I get on elevators.
Oh, yeah. Terrifying.
Let's go to Matt in Virginia. What's going on, Matt?
What's up, boys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I know it's NFL Monday, but I want to overreact to some NHL. The season starting up January 13th. Caps going to win the Cup. Penguins suck. Let's go, Caps.
Okay. No, all right, man.
I mean, it's also not NFL.
Let's go to Grant in Kansas City. What's going on, Grant? That guy sucks.
Come on.
Those are Capitals fans, by the way.
Way to go, man.
Way to go, man.
What's up, Patton boy?
Hey, what's going on, Grant?
Overreaction Monday.
See, this is what we're looking for, okay? That Capitals fan doing hockey talk. Hey, nobody even knows hockey's happening, all right? We're in the middle.
January 13th.
Straight stage right there.
Yeah, hockey.
There you go.
All right, let's go Pens, but hockey. I mean,
All right, you guys ready to hear something that's going to blow your socks off? You guys might have already seen it. HBO is putting out a Tiger Woods documentary here on January 10th and the 17th, two-parter, and it's a look at the rise, fall, and the epic comeback of Tiger Woods. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Grant, have you seen it? Does it look like Tiger's participating in this?
Yes, he is one of the producers. I believe he's
this looks like a Jordan.
But it's like home footage from when his dad got him out there at the age of like 6, cranking them balls around. Then shows his ex-wife, I guess now. I don't know if they got back together, but shows her and what she was going through during like prom or high school together, and how he wasn't going to be ready for all the fame. Sure enough, a little too much for him. He even talks about it, and then it goes into him wanting to become a Navy SEAL. He moves on, ends up hitting up the mistress, and then
want to be a Navy
ditches
SEAL.
all that, gets out of the drugs, comes back looking like he is today, goes off and wins a few more.
Looks like we don't even have to watch it. Grant just fucking nailed it. Is that what is the trailer telling you the whole goddamn story about it? Did he just say Tiger Woods wanted to be a Navy SEAL?
I think he did, but I did not know that.
This show stinks. Let's go to Marty in Maryland. What's going on, Marty? When's that, January 10th?
Yeah.
January 10th. Can't wait to watch it. So this is like the Jordan documentary. Tiger's a part of it, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Excited to hear how they cover a lot of different situations. Tiger Woods, GOAT, obviously. Can't wait to see it. Let's go to Marty in Maryland. What's going on, Marty?
Not much. How you doing, Pat?
Not too shabby. How are you?
Good. I want to give a shout-out to Diggs. T's and peace to him.
Yeah. By the way, T's and P's, Diggs. We hope he survives. By the way.
Diggs.
I was wondering.
Also, shout out to our protocol, by the way. Thank you.
Getting the job done.
Good, of course. It takes all of us.
It did take all of us, by the way, and our office protocols worked. People should be calling us to see how we did it. No plexiglass, by the way. Just smart social distancing on a very regular basis.
It worked.
I'm pretty sure I know how it happened, though.
What's that?
Diggs did get rid of the Foxy curse.
Oh, you think?
I think that the Foxy curse is now on Diggs.
Whoa. Maybe.
Pass the curse on.
Hey, don't kill the guy. Let's go to James in Maine. What's going on, James? Jesus.
If the Steelers keep winning games, I'm pretty sure Diggs would take being sick for the rest of his life.
Yeah, Diggs would be. If they win 7, he'll just stay in that little guest room without his wife or anybody else seeing him for the rest of his life if he had to. What do you want to talk about, James?
All right, so my overreaction. So after seeing Fitzmagic, bust out some magic this weekend, are the Dolphins going to make a run with Tua and Fitzpatrick at doing this little tag team thing?
No, they won't. They won't. I mean, that sounds very negative, and this might be a cold take, But if you have 2 quarterbacks, you got no fucking quarterbacks, okay? And although it worked, and I loved watching it. Hey, I love Fitz. I love Tua. I like the Dolphins a lot.
Love the Fins.
I love the Dolphins. Oh, Fitzmagic. I'm one of the biggest fans out there. But you're putting a lot on the Fitzmagic's plate. Not that guy can't eat it up because of how good he is, but just asking him to go in ice cold at the end of the game to win. This is the second time. Denver, they tried to do it, which he almost did. Now this time they're doing it. It's like, why not just have the guy play then? You know what I mean? Instead of just dropping him in there. But maybe this little, hey, we got a tag team in Tua and Fitzmagic that come down like D-Generation X saying, suck it to the entire AFC. Maybe that's the case. But it's just that's not a winning recipe in my eyes, but I could be completely wrong. Wrong.
Does it put any doubt, you think, in the other team when it's like anything's going bad, that even the players on like everyone else is kind of like, hey, like looking to Fitzmagic to make something happen instead of looking to Tua, the starter?
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't start trying to drive a wedge between Fitzmagic and Tua.
I'm not driving a wedge. I'm talking about the team as a whole as an offense. If, things aren't going well in the playoffs, second quarter, third quarter.
Can we put the fucking bearded guy in?
You need a spark.
We're ahead of schedule. You just got to get to the dance.
Yeah, the players aren't worried about the fans thinking that they're ahead of schedule and being good. The players are just trying to win a goddamn Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They're not worried about 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, which I do believe the Dolphins are ahead of schedule. I mean, last year, Field Yates put out a tweet earlier today. He said something about last year, with all signs pointing to a potential tank for Joe Burrow in Miami, B-Flow forged ahead and won 5 games.
Yep.
try to set a culture of winning and what he wanted to expect there. This year, it's led on to them winning a lot of games, obviously, 10 of them thus far. Going against the Bills next week, which will the Bills try or not? Very intriguing. They might win 11 games this year, the Dolphins, right? Which is awesome. I think everything he's done down there is very, very, very cool. But it is going to be tough, I'd assume, for some players. If Tua comes out and has 3 ice-cold series to begin a playoff game, for them not to go, let's go with Magic. And by the way, maybe B-Flow will be like, you're right, let's do it. It's just a conversation that's going to linger until it gets settled, just like Jalen and Carson, just like all these situations. But B-Flow seems to be handling it the best. I got an overreaction tweet that we didn't get to because we had like 15, 20 of them there that said, Jesus Christ is black and his name is Brian fucking Flores.
Ooh.
That's how Dolphins fans feel right now. Like he's saving the entire franchise. Is that how you feel?
Think about how many years we've been dog shit, Pat.
And last year,
so how many coaches, how many quarterbacks we've been through. This guy turned around the franchise in what, half a year?
And he almost fought a ref last year.
Yeah. He tried to fight the
players.
Bengals.
I mean, he
brought in his guys, Van Noy, Landon Roberts. Like, guys want to be there. Guys want to play for him. That's something we haven't seen as Dolphins fans in our lives.
Hey, just ride it, I guess. I guess you just ride it out. But I feel like there's going to come a moment where they're going to ask Fitzmagic to do what he did. It's not going to work. And then the entire conversation is going to be like, well, who's to blame if Fitz has more? It's just like if Jalen Hurts was a quarterback all year for the Eagles, how many wins would they have versus how many losses would they have? I mean, there's all those hypotheticals that happen, and that's why our show exists.
Another great hypothetical is what if the Finns took Herbert instead of Tua?
Yeah, but nobody was saying that. Show me one person. Show me one person who said draft Herbert over Tua.
Well, that's kind of what you were saying, right? Weren't you?
Well, Belichick, I think, had a thought that Herbert was the guy, but I'm not completely sure.
Let's go to Oscar in Hawaii. Aloha, Oos. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Aloha! What's up, boy? Hey, Merry Christmas!
Hey.
Happy New Year!
Yeah.
Melikalika. Oh shit! I'm on TV.
No, the internet. The internet. It's a regional show.
Radio.
It's the internet show. But I appreciate you, Oscar. What do you want to talk about, bub?
Bro, last time I checked, it is sunny here in the 808 state. You guys are worldwide, so enough with the regional. You guys are worldwide, homie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, what island are you on?
I'm on Oahu.
Oh, nice. I don't think I've heard.
A really big one. No, not the big one, but the one where all the tourists go to.
Yeah, I got married and engaged on the big one. I think we're trying to set up a trip to Lanai right now, but there's no pods.
Oh, no.
And I have said numerous times, you fly to Hawaii, got to have a pod because the knees can't take the 8-9 hour trip over there. But Hawaii is my favorite place on earth, Oscar. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Bro, hey, all I want to say is I'm a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Go Buccaneers. And, oh, by the way, I was wondering, did you guys not like island people for a while? Because you were talking crap about Troy. Juju's half. But then I listened to you guys talk about our cousin Tua.
No,
we love Tua, dude.
Bro, no.
You guys love us.
What do you know about Samson Satele, huh? What do you know about a teammate of mine, Samson Satele, who tried to introduce me to root? What is the root? It's like a drink over there. You make it. Yeah.
You don't like kava? Bro, kava's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but boy, I've seen some guys who have, and the next morning they came into the building all fucked up stuff. I mean, I heard it is awesome. We love. We were just going to bat for Tua, actually, talking about how Fitzmagic can't do it. You should see how hard we cheer for Roman Reigns.
Oh, man.
The Usos. I mean, you're talking about the entire. We watched Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we thought Dog was rude that entire time.
We wanted a Mariota Tua matchup on Saturday
we
night.
were pulling for Marcus Mariota. Hey,
matchup.
Oscar, I don't need to hear this bullshit.
Hey, I'm trying to say sorry, homie. Goddamn. Hey, first of all, I heard the Tua thing. You guys were great. I mean, you got to show some love to Vita Vea. When he went down, the Buccaneers defense forgot who they was. So much love to Vita Vea. But, hey, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I watch your show like every day if I can in the morning. My wife even knows Brett Favre comes in every Tuesday. How's that? Boom. Succeeding. You guys are.
Oh, geez.
You got Brett Favre this Tuesday?
Well, you got to remember. You got to remember, it's a 6-hour time zone difference. Aaron Rodgers might transform into Brett in.
In that transition.
Copper fit?
Well, they got rid of the pods.
Oh, that's right.
So in the trip.
Drinking too much of that root.
Yeah.
Hey, I've heard it is awesome. They make it in like a, I forget. It's one of those like, those painting buckets, like the white, with the metal handle. I guess you put in there, you put some roots in there, and then you dump water in there, then you shake it, and then you like put in like a shot, like jungle juice almost.
You get a paint mixer in that thing.
Yeah, I guess the kava, the root, it like goes. I guess it really fucks you up. It's like I guess
it's like an IPA of shots.
I missed a kava party, at the Colts. Samson Satella had one, and I fucking wasn't able to make it.
Thank God.
Well, the next morning I saw everybody come in, and they were just like, they're like, "Hey, this kava thing's no joke." They were like, "It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome." But I forget, it's
like a tree root, you mean?
Yeah, it's like you like grab the roots of something. Kava probably is a plant of some sort.
Okay.
And then you grab the roots of it, you put it into one of those buckets, and then they dump water in there. They I don't know how. It's a full process though.
Yeah.
And then I guess you take shots of it, and it's just like game over.
See you later.
Samson was one of the coolest teammates I've ever had, by the way. Long hair. He was a center, great athlete.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, good guy. I tried to get him on a punt team because how athletic he was. They paid him like $30 million to play center. That probably wasn't going to happen. Let's go to Jackson in Georgia. What's going on, Jackson?
Hey, Pat and the boys, how y'all doing up there?
Not too shabby. How are you?
I'm all right. Hope y'all had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays up there.
Hey, you're damn right we did. How was it down there? A little bit warmer down there in Georgia, huh?
Oh, man, you know what? It actually snowed on Christmas Eve, so that was a nice little Christmas miracle right there.
Oh, you guys had a white Christmas Day down there in Georgia. Now, I've heard down there, if it gets icy down in Atlanta, shuts down the whole goddamn state.
You're damn right. We don't know how to drive on no ice down here, man.
Well, we don't know how to drive on ice either, but we got them salt trucks up here. But our governor chooses not to send them out whenever it turns out there's going to be a fucking ice storm. I assume it's the same down there in Georgia.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. But I got something for Evan Foxy, man.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of snow in Atlanta.
Too much snow in Atlanta. Foxy, you remember when we were walking around Atlanta? Everybody had a goddamn blizzard in their pocket and on their faces.
It was unbelievable.
They were not hot.
Sunshine.
They had pockets full of sunshine. They had noses full of Colombian. I mean, and nobody was hiding it either.
And they wanted us to have it as well.
We're walking down the street, and everybody's like, "McAfee, good to see you." They come looking at me like a goddamn zombie, their eyes wide open. They go, "Best shit in town." I'm like, "Are you kidding me with this?" They were acting as if it was like a tobacco pouch.
Yeah.
Like they were whipping it out as if it was a tobacco pouch. They're like, "You don't want any?" I'm like, "No, you're no fun." I'm like, "All right, I'll see you later." And then he would leave, and then we'd go just like maybe a block further down. And McAfee, come here, McAfee. Check it out. Need you to get. And they brought out like a sandwich bag, like it was unbelievable down there in Atlanta. That's why, obviously, the Atlanta rap culture is so good with the drug references, because I do believe it's 100% true, everything. Jeezy, I do believe he potentially sold 10 kilos to this one white kid that was dancing at this one bar we went down there.
It made a lot of sense after
It made a lot of sense. Every song you hear from a rapper in Atlanta about selling cocaine, it is 100% real, and it was unbelievable, the sight of the amount of humans that were just zombied out. I was like, I thought this was something the kids didn't do anymore because Adderall. Atlanta's like, no. We still go back to the old school.
And just wide open with it. They didn't care at all.
Kids were just walking around as if they got punched in the face with a snowball. Just walking around, no big deal. Hey, man, you got something on your mustache? Oh, saving it for later, yeah. Jesus Christ, dude.
That's probably why the music's so good. They're up all night just working on the craft.
Well, you never get high off your own supply. Wasn't an Atlanta guy that said that, but I assume they live by the same code. What do you want to talk about, Jackson?
Well,
he's probably one of those guys, by the way.
Yeah, definitely was.
You got a mustache?
I got not yet, man, but I got to tell Evan Foxy he's been done a big disservice by all those stooges up there in Pittsburgh, man.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate
I
that,
think any of the 32 teams out there would be should be ecstatic to have a fan as dedicated as you are.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying.
Them, man.
That's why I had to take it to a halt today.
Who do you think you should be pulling for, Jackson?
Yeah, good question.
Well, man, I know I'm not the first person to tell you this, and I know that we just got boat raced by that shittier team up from East Rutherford. But you've got one more chance, at least regular season, to stick it to the Steelers, man. And I'm telling you, the Browns are going to wax them next week, pal.
See, hold on. Now, I'm starting to wonder if Jackson's an actual Steelers fan. And is trying.
No.
Reverse psychology.
I think
you're right.
I think he is a Steelers fan. He's trying to kick you out.
I'm wearing my Browns hat right now. I was wearing my Nick Chubb jersey yesterday, man. We're a dog pound all the way, all right?
How'd you become a dog pound fan down there in Georgia?
Well, It honestly started when they drafted Nick Chubb. I grew up a Georgia fan, so I just hopped on the train and now I'm hopping off. I like the team way too much.
Tough run.
I like Jackson.
Should be a thought from the Lions fans to maybe block Foxy off, and maybe next year they actually make a run without the cursed Foxy.
It already is. They were passing around a petition.
Nah.
Yeah, there was a petition for him never to come back. Yeah,
Curse isn't real.
There was a GoFundMe too at one point to pay him to never come back to some certain fans.
I'm going to donate.
Let's go to Ghana from the internet. What's going on, Ghana?
How are you? Thanks for having me back on.
No problem, man. Thanks for joining us, dude. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, first of all, shout out to you and your procedures and reminding us that it takes all of us. T's and P's to Tone and Zito. Hope they're back soon.
Hey, I think Zito, we haven't gotten official, but I think Zito, much different situation.
Yeah, it might be good.
Hopefully.
That makes me very happy to hear.
Yeah, me too, by the way. Hope everybody survives.
Hey, Pat, I don't want to overreact, but the coaching job that Chuck Pagano has done with their Bears defense to keep them from giving up on the offense led by MVP Mitch might be one of the best coaching jobs in football this year. And he does not deserve what Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going to do to my Bears in Chicago next Sunday.
Okay, I appreciate your call, Ghana, from the internet. Chuck Pagano, by the way, for a couple of weeks ago, they were coming after him for the defense not performing as well. Now that they're back and the defense is balling again, I'm happy Chuck's back in good light there. Chuck's a great coach. I would assume his players all love him. I don't think you'll ever meet a player that ever played for Chuck Pagano that says they don't like Chuck. He's a high-energy guy, hilarious human being. In that defense, I think they're pumped that Maserati Mitch is completing some balls all of a sudden. Jimmy Graham also balling out, by the way, down there in Chicago.
Now kind of no more changes, right? I feel like halfway through the year is a definite that was going to be a complete house clean. And now that they're kind of making a run into the playoffs, Mitch might be back long-term over there in Chicago, you think?
Could you imagine if Nagy's back, Pace is back, they got Foles' contract still, you got Mitch, I guess, if they don't pick up his option, they're going to have to figure out how that whole thing goes. But I mean, what if they come back again and just go 8-8 again?
Same team.
You know what I mean? Just bring it back, run it back.
Let Allen Robinson walk, obviously. Maybe draft someone.
We got Montgomery.
Come on, just hand the ball off, Mitch.
Let's go to Mike in Missouri. You think they'll fuck that up? I wonder.
They have to. Yeah.
They're
going to fuck it up.
Man, but what if this is Mitch, though?
Yeah, and he's just all of a sudden on a rise.
What if he's on a rocket ship, Just a couple weeks ago, that guy was the biggest bust we've ever seen. Trubisky, they were saying.
Ooh.
Trubisky.
Whoa.
They're like, Mitchell Trubisky is what people were saying.
Now all of a sudden.
It's like, whoa, is Mitch all the way back? Is Mitch the next Aaron Rodgers, people were saying in the NFC?
It might be.
Unbelievable. What have you done for me lately is very prevalent in this entire world here.
Better winning percentage than Deshaun Watson. Zeta's told us. Check the stats.
Mike in Missouri, what's up, dude? Deshaun Watson.
Hey, Pat. How's it going, guys?
Hey, just hanging out. How are you?
Nothing much right now. Hey, so I got a question about Sam Darnold and the Jets. Are they fucking back?
All right, Mike.
Well, you have to be back from something to be back.
There's another guy. Maybe saves Gase. Maybe stick around another year.
Seriously, I mean, hey, they just beat 2 playoff teams.
No, this is what I think will happen. I think they will keep Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay, which was unfathomable just 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sam Darnold's still the quarterback. I don't think Gase will be the head coach. Joe Douglas will remain. And who and how will they build around old Sam Darnold to make that franchise a relevant one? Because at this point, whenever they win games, the other team is sick to their stomach, is what they say.
Embarrassed.
We're embarrassed and sick to our stomach that we lost to that team. That's an NFL team. There's millions and millions of dollars being paid to those players to play. And other teams are like, we're embarrassed to lose to them. So something's going to have to change, I would assume. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think Sam Darnold's going to stick around. I don't think Gase will. Let's go to Andrew in South Kakalaka. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Pat and the boys?
How's it going, Andrew? What do you want to talk about, bub?
Hey, man. Well, since Dwayne Haskins has been let go and he's apologized, I think he is ready for the Patriot way.
Ooh. Bill might be able to pay another quarterback $1 million to be his starting guy.
But Dewey, he's not getting $1 million. He's getting like $250K.
Well, there's a league, man. I guess it'd probably be $400,000, $500,000, but he's already owed 4 point whatever a year by the Washington football team and the Washington football team for the next 2 years. I hope the Dwayne Haskins story ends up as a positive one. I really do.
So young.
He is so young. And the Washington football team has been a nightmare over there, obviously.
Is there any thought that it might be worse that he went back to his hometown team and he was kind of around
you
that?
Never, like, there was a chance I was going to be a Steeler, I guess. There was a chance I was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And hindsight now, looking back, if I would have been a Pittsburgh Steeler, successful at all, if I would have been successful at all as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I had all that money and I lived in Pittsburgh every single day, oh my God. Could you imagine if I had an apartment over there that froze first couple of years? I'd come back in the offseason. I'd vacation in Pittsburgh, right? Mm-hmm. We'd have a night. My friends would have to work, so I would just sleep all day. As soon as I got home, I'm like a dog, basically. Hey, let's go. I've been hanging out. Let's go out. That's what I would do. I couldn't imagine if that was during the season, if that was available. That would have been, there's no way I would have made it. No chance at all. Would have been arrested multiple times. Pittsburgh would have got me. I would assume D.C. could potentially get you too.
Hey, but Ike said before, they treat you right. I mean, at least the police down there would have helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, well, boy. I feel like they knew me, by the way. Like, even though I didn't play for the Steelers, I feel like a lot of people knew who I was down there on the south side. Old John at Jimmy D's, that guy. I might have spent 20 to 30 grand in that guy's bar each offseason. Literally might have spent that. I'd assume he's appreciative of my appearances.
Probably put his kids through college.
Potentially. I mean, in Mario's, that was another one. I couldn't imagine. You're right. It's probably good that he's getting out of town. Probably good. Hopefully it'll help out. Let's go to Logan down there in Jacksonville. What's going on, Logan? You didn't stink.
Hey, what's going on, Pat?
Hey, they're going to get Trevor Lawrence down there. They're going to turn that entire franchise around, pal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was at the game yesterday, and I tell you what, it looked like Bear City down there.
Yeah, that's
every fat stooge I saw in a Bear City looked like Lord Zeke.
Oh, jeez, dude. Z might be battling one of the worst gout experiences right now we've ever seen. He doesn't need you going after him right now.
Hey, he's tough. He got it.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Anyway, so last Wednesday you were talking about Tyreek Hill. You know, you were saying that there will never be another Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I agree with you. Nobody can beat the Cheetah, but I think that my guy, Kadarius Toney, a.k.a. the Joker, down from Florida, I think he can be pretty darn close.
Really? The only person I know is Trask, obviously, then that tight end. Who?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. That tight end's going to make a lot of money in there. Mm-hmm. Who are you talking about? The Joker?
Kadarius Toney.
Was he? He's just very fast, small guy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was our number one receiver on the team this year. And he's real quick.
See, Logan, I think that's an interesting thing, and this is why I talk about Tyreek Hill in the way I do, is it feels like there's small, fast guys, a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Incredibly talented, would beat the shit out of everybody in backyard football that talks about football. Your friends would get smoked by these dudes in backyard football. But normally when you're a little bit undersized, if you don't know how to not get hit, that is a big trait to keep. So because you're going to be gone, because there's big guys flying around. And also if you're a short, fast guy, sometimes your muscles are bound so tight that they pop and pull. You have to deal with a lot of that type of thing. Tyreek Hill, for whatever reason, has this ability to not get hit. And he also, his muscles, even though he has 1% body fat, seem to be so durable. I think that is why Tyreek Hill is so impressive. He runs marathons during the games. He's fast, and it feels like he missed a game, I guess, last year and things like that. But he very rarely misses for the type of player he is. And I think that's why it's going to be tough to find another Tyreek Hill. But if you're getting compared to Tyreek Hill like the Joker is, you should feel pretty good about yourself. Oh, there's the Joker celebrating a touchdown against MIZO. You already know they're not that good at football, but I do believe if you sell it, that guy's probably going to be pretty good. There was another dude from Florida that we had on the Colts. Cool guy, punt returner. Brandon, maybe? He was a small guy back in the day. He was electrifying, but I think he got hurt. So it was like one of those situations where sometimes it's giving a sword.
Yeah, those guys don't always work out. Like John Ross for the Bengals, he had like 4.2 speed, and he stinks.
Well, I think he wants out, right? Doesn't he kind of want a new situation?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right, that's the show, dude. Got about 50 seconds left here. Connor, Gumpy, Foxy, Mansuri, Jay, Nick, Lombardi, Juszczyk, Ian Rappaport, all the callers. I can't thank you guys enough for today. Incredible performance, boys. Big thanks to Ian Rappaport for breaking news immediately after leaving our show. Can't thank you guys enough for listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. We'll be back tomorrow with an Aaron Rodgers Tuesday after one of the best football games I've ever seen the guy have. Can't wait to chat with him about that. We'll also have another guest on tomorrow that you will not believe. If you didn't catch all of today's show, remember it is a podcast available on all streaming platforms. Pat McAfee Show 2.0. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed is next year on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. His show will be much better than ours, we promise you. We'll be back manana. Cheers. Have a great fucking day. I think I hit it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're out. Hammer Don is at 3:30. It's about 34 minutes. Gumpy will be hosting today.
Here you go, Gump.
Boy, Gump.
Go, Gump.
Go, Gump.
I assume we'll have Diggs call in from his COVID cave after an 11-0 weekend. Hammered Down as a gambling podcast. We should have him talk in there. Michael Lombardi will be there. We'll give our picks for tonight's game. We'll reflect on some trends. Gumpy will have some nukes. Hammer Down is at 3:30 Eastern Standard. YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. 28,000 or 29,000, depending on which number here is accurate. Still watching. We have no idea, but we appreciate the fucking hell out of you for doing what you do and rocking with us every afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow with another average show, I'd assume. I assume it's going to be average to above average. I'm going to start streaming, by the way, with my Oculus.
Yeah.
YouTube Gaming. Is that what it's called?
I believe so, yep.
We're going to have that YouTube Gaming. I'm going to be a gamer because I'm in my Oculus. I don't know when we're going to do that. We're also going to have to figure out the internet at my house, which has been a problem in the past. Might stop us, but if I'm not doing a show, if it's just streaming, it shouldn't need as much internet, right?
Yeah, you just make sure Jay's not stealing all your internet. I think you should be good.
Well, that is what Jay's doing up there in the front. Yeah. Him and his fiance fucking streaming every goddamn movie that can be found and playing Call of Duty 75 out there.
What are you going to do?
He's streaming alongside like 10 guys from back home every fucking night. Yeah. Not a single glitch. It's in 8K on the fucking screen when I drive by. It's literally in the living room. But I can't even get my goddamn TV to play ABC.
No one else in the entire planet has better internet than Jay.
And I can't answer phone calls. I can't FaceTime with people. I can't do jack shit at my house, but just 100 yards in front of me at my brother's house, he's got that goddamn Cowboys Eagles 8K camera on every fucking thing that he needs, every device in his house. You go in the kitchen, he's streaming something on Netflix. You go into the shitter, he's on Amazon Prime. You go in the living room, he's playing Call of Duty. And back in his goddamn bedroom, guess what? He's watching his plain-ass cable. You know what I mean? God. FaceTiming everybody he knows. That's what Jay's doing to the goddamn internet. And hopefully we'll be able to get him to turn off one of the rooms up there, and I'll be able to stream on the Oculus. Jay, is that going to be okay? Can we get a little bit of internet to the house when maybe sometimes when I want to stream?
I'll see what I can do, Pat.
Oh, okay, Jay. Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Thank you.
Just once.
Jay, is your internet good up there?
I mean, it's not bad. It's not great upload. It's not great up.
Which one do I have a problem with?
Up.
What's that all about? They have such a fucking racket. 5G here, 5G there. It ain't nowhere near where I'm at.
Makes no sense.
I can't even get a 2G up there.
I mean, we got to move the satellites or something. Figure it out.
Bro, me and that Oculus is going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
Bro, I think I'm a pretty good Oculus boxer, dude. I mean, my whole body's sore right now. That's how, if you're not Oculus boxing where your whole body isn't sore, are you even doing it?
Nope.
You know what I mean? And it's hard not to whenever you connect and you see the guy's face just bleh, bleh. Yeah. It's hard not to kind of get addicted to that.
It's hard not to celebrate, too, when you're competing for the belt.
Hey, man. No championship yet, by the way. I wonder if I will.
How long does it take?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm 7 knockouts into my career. They're calling me a young Mike Tyson in there.
Yeah. You're working up to contender status.
The guy I was fucking playing, his name was The Artist because he was a knockout artist. And on the tagline below, it said, watch him leave bodies on the canvas in live pay-per-view. And I was like, is that fucking right? Is that right? He had 2 piercings on his lip. I thought he got to beat the fuck out of those real quick.
Put that to the
A
test.
little blood on there. You see their eyes, they start to get like bruises on their eyes.
Swollen up.
Yeah, their body, you start seeing like the punches on her. It's awesome. I don't think I ever want to get punched in the face for real, but Oculus boxing is a good time. Great workout. Maybe this is what gets me in the best shape of my life is Oculus boxing.
You'll eat those VR punches.
For sure. But I'm pretty good. Pretty good head movement.
Yeah.
I would say I did a couple of these.
Yeah, if you can catch them.
I did a couple of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where the punch goes in front of your
The
eye.
Tyson Fury. Yeah. See.
Yeah. I felt real good about that. The guy telegraphed. He fucking dropped his shoulder. Whoops. See you. Full pain. Sleep. See, that hurt. that was very sore right there.
Gotta get you in a bath.
No, I gotta do my full warm up. I got a lightsaber. Then I got a ping pong. And then I got a box.
Get those small muscles working.
My whole body is sore. Like my whole body is sore.
Even the legs.
Can't even wipe my ass.
Oh, geez.
Couldn't even wipe my ass. Had to do literally can't get there right now. So I had to do leg up.
Oh, underneath.
Yeah, that's how you know you had a good workout. Look like goddamn orangutan out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you get into real, fighting shape, you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, probably like 6 months from now. 6 months of Oculus boxing every single morning. I might be an absolute. I switched to southpaw this morning against the guy.
Ooh.
Just because my right hand, I was throwing so many heavy hooks.
Yeah.
Very tired. So I switched to southpaw just so I can
jab.
Jab.
Smart.
Yeah. They're whooping!
Yeah, you got that in the repertoire. I mean, any knockout artist is going to have trouble.
Well, they even have a goddamn, everybody's saying J.J. Watt. Oh, we should probably react to that, huh?
Ooh.
Yeah,
that was incredible, too.
Yeah, it was.
That whole message.
Well, the tweet had like 19,000 retweets or whatever.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt yesterday went on a rant during his press conference, a diatribe, if you will, about everything that it is about being an NFL player, basically? Because I assume the question was, and this wasn't in the video, was, hey, you're out. You guys don't have a coach. Going into week 17, what is your mindset? Or basically, I think the question was leading to make JJ maybe take the week off or maybe not try as hard because the season's over. And JJ went on this entire rant about why being in the NFL is so important and acting as if you're an NFL player is so important. It was amazing. Can we run that thing, Foxy?
If you can't come in and put work in the building, go out to the practice field and work hard, do your lifts and do what you're supposed to do, you should not be here. This is a job. We are getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of and they care about it. They care every single week. We're in week 16 and we're 4-11, and there's fans that watch this game, that show up to the stadium, that put in time and energy and effort and care about this. So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here, because this is a privilege. It's the greatest job in the world. You get to go out and play a game. And if you can't care enough, even in week 17, even when you're trash, when you're 4-11, if you can't care enough to go out there and give everything you've got and try your hardest, that's bullshit. So that's how I think there are people every week that still tweet you, that still come up to you and say, hey, we're still rooting for you. We're still behind you. They have no reason whatsoever to. We stink. But they care, and they still want to win, and they still want you to be great. That's why. Those people aren't getting paid. We're getting paid handsomely. That's why. And that's who I feel the most bad for, is our fans. And the people who care so deeply in this city, and the people who love it and who truly want it to be great. And it's not. And that sucks as a player, to know that we're not giving them what they deserve.
Walk off. Whoa. Hey, he did a fucking walk off after that. To be honest, not a bad play, because I have no idea what the next question or answer could have been that could have topped that. But that's basically what Jason Kelce was saying a couple weeks ago about building a culture of winning. And it goes back to the conversation about Dwayne Haskins and about a lot of the guys that, and now granted, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We can only assume what's happening behind the scenes. But it goes back to what I was talking about with guys who get on the team for OTAs, or they're a camp body or whatever, and the first thing they do is go to Twitter or Instagram and they're like, Indianapolis Colts, blah, blah, blah. And everybody wants to be an NFL player until it comes time to do what NFL players have to do. And I'm not saying that it is a hard job by any means. My dad was a truck driver, woke up like 5 a.m., 4 a.m. every goddamn day, didn't come back till late at night. I mean, Nick's dad is literally a concrete layer. The guy's out in the middle of the mud. Like, I understand that there are much harder jobs and everything like that. But to be in the NFL is much different than to get to the NFL. And I think that is what J.J. Watt was referring to. I don't know if he was taking a shot at his teammates. I don't know if he was taking a shot at something or thoughts that are happening outside the building. But I do know that what J.J. Watt basically laid out there is the mindset that every fan would hope that every single player of theirs would have on the team. I don't think it's a majority of people don't have that. I think a majority of players do have that. But every once in a while, you get a player that doesn't appreciate his position, acts out of way. By the way, I got arrested during a bye week, so I was potentially a distraction at one point who didn't fully understand what it took to be great in the NFL until after that, and then I did. But it is one of those things where the commitment to being in the NFL is much harder than people think it is. And J.J. Watt's a guy who allegedly goes to bed at 9 p.m., wakes up at 4 a.m. and everything like that, and he's at the top of the world. But the fact of the fans thinking that teams should go out and tank and players should lose and stuff like that, like, that's not a reality, okay? Because you're putting things on film. Either you care about the team winning or you care about money. Whatever the case is, usually people are going to go as hard as they can, and those that can't kind of get weeded out. But setting a culture is a big deal, and I think that's what J.J. Watt was referring to there.
And like Mekhi Becton said the other day, like, if you don't want us to win and you want us to lose, you're not real fans. I mean, these guys, like he said, people care so much about these teams.
And by the way, that's a good thing about the NFL.
Yeah.
Is that fans are that invested. Houston Texans fans are awesome, by the way. Playing down in Houston was incredible. This comes after J.J. Watt allegedly told Billy O some things in practice. I mean, that was neither here. So I think J.J. Watt if you go to a Houston Texans game, his name is everywhere. It's in the program, like every other page he has a sponsor. When something good happens, turn down for what's up there. His face is synonymous, not just with the Texans, but with the entire city of Houston. I would assume he wants to see that get turned around. He said, I ain't in for rebuilding, okay? We had a rebuilding year, but we basically had the mindset that it was a reloading year. Maybe that's what the Houston Texans will do next year, but I would assume that J.J. Watt's going to have a good game this upcoming year.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume J.J. is going to have a good game, and I'm excited to watch it. I think FanDuel will have a bet on J.J. Watt just to get a sack. Let's go. I think that's not normal. They'll have that. That feels like one of my favorite bets of the year, actually, that speech. But goddamn, there's a lot of teams around the NFL, and I saw this on Twitter, that are basically saying, hey, get JJ to Green Bay. Hey, get JJ to Pittsburgh. Hey, get JJ to Indianapolis. That speech that he went on there. And now, granted, is this something that JJ Watt had potentially had on his mind for a bit and was waiting for a chance to maybe say, maybe? But boy, it made you want to say, I would like that guy on my team.
Mm-hmm.
And JJ Watt's a guy that we'd like on our team.
Absolutely.
JJ Swat, turned down for what, dude? I hosted a Houston Texans luncheon this year.
Oh, yeah?
Alongside J.J. Watt.
Ooh.
This was after he did the ultimate tag and got married and everything like that. Good conversation. He's a funny guy. He's calling from his office. Very sophisticated. He had mahogany behind him.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with the trophies behind him?
Yeah, there was some. And then you see his TV on Instagram. It's got the lights around it. That actually led to my lady in my little cave area to put the lights around the TV because of how, sophisticated it looks.
Cool it is.
Shout out to J.J. Watt for that. He has a log cabin in the woods in Wisconsin.
Oh.
It's like 17,000 square feet or something. It's a log cabin, though. And then T.J. Watt had the best day of his life yesterday, and J.J. Watt had that. Ugh. That's the Watt family, though. Hey, going to be on top of the world. Hope J.J. gets to a contender soon or makes Houston a contender again.
Yeah.
That was an incredible speech. All right, we're out of here. Hammer Don is in 22 minutes. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow over there on Rodgers Tuesday. Cheers.